Bulls Radio Lounge, the Bullshitter Show. Sorry about a little bit late, a little bit rough coming in, just because we had some technical issues we had to work out. So sorry about that for our one listener who's listening. Thank you for chiming in.
Thank you for chiming in.
Yeah. Christian is in the house.
What's up, everybody? It's good to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry I was off last week.
You had some things to work out?
Had some family stuff going on.
Okay.
People in, people out, you know, that kind
Everything
of
good?
stuff. No.
No,
just
okay.
Wife's side stuff.
Ah, okay. All right. Don't want to make her upset.
No.
No.
God, no.
Keep her happy.
Keep her happy.
So glad that you could join us. It's a little bit of housekeeping real quick. Next Friday, there's no show
All right.
for the Bullshitter Show.
Okay.
So maybe Tuesday might be a Bull and Bartender show, right?
Okay.
But Thursday, obviously Halloween, right?
Yes.
And then, so no off the cuff, and then Tuesday, or that Friday, no Bullshitter Show.
Okay.
So I'll be going out of town. And since, I don't know if you guys know how to set this stuff up, but you know.
No.
Okay.
That's your gimmick, brother.
I know. So
You're all over that.
So this week we'll be off entirely.
I think I can turn it on.
Can you? Can you hook up all the wires? You know? Yes.
I don't know.
I have confidence in you. I mean,
you know, it looks like, you know, monkey see, monkey do.
okay.
So one end looks like it can only go in one spot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
What about like this one right here?
Well, yeah. Yeah, you always do that kind of the same. The white, you always do that kind of the same.
Uh-huh.
And then I always end up out here plugged in.
Well, let me give you a better suggestion.
Okay.
If you want to, you and Lint can actually like come together, like your house or his house, right?
Yeah.
And just record it like on your phone or on your computer or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then just let me know and I'll fix it.
Okay.
And that'll be a show.
That would be a show.
You
All
know?
right, we can do that.
I even got a mic if you want to use it, like a USB microphone.
We'll check that out for sure. I think
All
he
right.
might have a couple, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll check with
I
him
haven't been
too.
to his Sukasa, so I don't know.
You know, I've only picked him up there and dropped him off once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
His domicile?
His domicile.
Domicile?
Yeah, he's very secretive.
He is
It's a lair. I think.
well,
it's
he
a
said
lair.
he's going to call in.
He's gonna shoot lasers from there at the sun.
He probably has his house like rigged up like what was that movie with Gru? What was the one? Damn it, my phone dropped. The movie with Gru with where they made a whole like 3 movies. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Where at Universal they have a ride, the Despicable Me. Remember the scene where
Okay.
the guy's house was like all full of missiles and shit like that.
The
you know?
third one, right?
No, it was the first one.
Was it the first one?
Yeah, when they were
Oh,
selling.
I was thinking about the villain. Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, when they were
Groot,
selling
yeah.
cookies and he like tried to break into his house and
That was really a good movie.
it
man,
was.
for a
That's the way
cartoon.
Lint's house is set up. So
Booby trapped.
I wouldn't doubt it if he did have a bunch of missiles and mines and stuff like that all over the place.
Wouldn't doubt it, man. Wouldn't doubt it.
He's kind of like a really like
He's
Area
crazy.
51 type guy, you know?
He's got something hidden in the basement.
He's got a palm scanner to go through his front door. Then he's got a basement where he hides bodies, you know?
Where is he tonight?
He said he had to take a personal day.
Oh, okay.
So he took one last night and took one today.
Okay.
I ran the ship last night.
By
As usual.
yourself?
No, with me and Belly.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That one.
So you didn't listen last night, did you?
I listened to a little bit of it
Did
later
you?
on at
How
the
do we sound?
replay. Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, flowing pretty good.
All right. Just want to make
Good
sure.
topics. Yeah, it was all good.
That way we're not like, bleeding people's ears.
No,
You know?
no.
Kind of have that from time to time. People will sit there and say, even on the other shows that I've done, right? They'll be like that I sound horrible. And I make people's ears bleed.
That's jealousy.
No, I mean, it's jealousy because we're not doing it. But,
That's right.
But I don't know about it. I don't know. It just sort of, gets to you, you know?
I understand.
So-
I understand.
So I apologize. We didn't play the intro, which is fine. We just went right into it really dry. So next Friday, no show at
No
all.
show Friday.
Probably going to take a week off.
So I guess that's what I was going to say. It looks like you're taking the week off.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's up in the air with Mark the bartender because he has a lot going on at the
Okay.
bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that whole week for Halloween is, like, really crazy.
For everybody.
Right, right.
Especially if you have Yinglings.
Right. And he has a lot of people that trick-or-treated at his neighborhood, right?
I'm sure.
So he wants to make sure that everything's all right and stuff like that. So, it's kind of up in the air. But I'll figure it out like on Saturday or Sunday, and then I'll post it on our Facebook page
Perfect.
and see if we'll do a show or not. So
Have you been in the same domicile for a few years?
for what, my house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a lot of trick-or-treaters?
No. It's
Really?
an old Spanish community.
Well, what the hell does that have to do with it?
It's because there's not people that come around.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's a very dry neighborhood.
I hope to God Halloween's not going away. Take your kids out and get some candy, for God's sake,
I mean,
man.
Well, I mean, Halloween is always about getting candy and stuff like that, and
Free
having
candy.
fun, and I mean, Hyde Park is a good place to go do that.
Oh, man.
What?
Hyde Park.
You don't like Hyde Park?
Used to go to Hyde Park.
Did you?
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
the little drive in the 11 and 12-year-old stage, and
Does the mall still do that too?
I don't know.
Okay, because I
don't
know West
about
Shore
that.
used to do that.
Wow.
West Shore Mall,
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
but now Hyde Park is a big thing.
Cool.
It used to be when I was a kid, we'd go from neighborhood to neighborhood.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and get tons of candy, and then fucking my mom would have to sit there and sort through it all. Because
Right.
she thought there was some sort of razor blade or poison or something like that.
Oh, shit. My mom didn't sort. She picked out what she wanted.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's probably what she
Oh,
did. She
yeah.
probably picked it out and go, here's the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Got little scraps. you know?
Sorry for all the tooties.
Yeah, you did all the hard work. I'm gonna take the rest of it. So sorry about your luck, kid.
Yeah,
Pack sand.
exactly.
But no, it was a good time when I was trick or treating. It wasn't that bad.
I loved it. I always enjoyed it.
Do you still dress up?
I actually have not dressed up nor had a party in a few years, but the last big Halloween party I had, everybody dressed up.
Okay.
But
Were you doing one this year?
No.
Because you said you were going to get with me about doing one.
Yeah,
and
it kind of fell to the wayside.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Just
I was going to set you
stuff.
up. Lights.
I know.
Actors.
I thought about it, and it just looked great in my head, and just stuff.
Just stuff happens.
stuff.
Life happens.
Yeah.
I got you. Life happens. Shit
Occurs.
happens.
Yeah.
Can't help it. All right, so we're going to take a quick break real quick, and then when we come back, we're going to get into some Halloween stuff. There's a story that I want to go through you with that we talked about last night, and I want to get your opinion on.
I'm intrigued already.
And it was sort of been floating around the atmosphere, and it's a local story, right?
Okay.
But it happened. It involves a unicorn, an Olaf, stuffed animal, what do you call it? Not bears, but they're stuffed toys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And a complete stranger.
Now I'm more intrigued than ever.
So you got Olaf, you got
We got Olaf.
a unicorn, and then there might be a
Stuffed
Mickey
animals.
Mouse involved. Yeah.
Wow.
Might be a three-way tag-along.
Hold on here.
So
We'll be back.
all that and more only on the Bullshitters Show. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute.
taught me how to be carefree. Yes, you taught me to just be me. Yeah, you taught me responsibility. Yeah, you told me they were wrong, and I'm not crazy. 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 You live that life with no regrets. And I promise you that I'll never forget. You live that life with no regrets. And I promise you that I'll never forget. You taught me positivity, oh yes, you taught me not negativity, and you taught me to just be me. Yeah, you told me they were wrong, and I'm not crazy. 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 You live that life with no regrets. And I promise you that I'll never forget. You live that life with no regrets. And I promise you that I'll never forget.
Bulls Radio Lounge, the Bullshitter Show. I do have to tell you, I think some of the stuff that we talk about off the air would be so freaking funny. You know?
I do.
I just don't know if I want to indulge in that.
Now, what we were just talking about, no, I'm on your side with that.
Yeah.
I don't think, no, we can't even.
I mean, it wouldn't be a
perpetrate
big
something
deal.
like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be honest with you. But I don't know if I really want to indulge in those type of. I mean, there are good times.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
It was a fantastic time.
I'm
you know?
sure, man.
I loved every day that I went there.
One day we're going to have
You
to
know.
pick out some stuff that, you
Yeah.
could talk about. Because,
Look,
look, man, I'm interested.
Right.
I know, I would assume the listeners today and during the week.
to find out the inner workings.
Yeah. Everybody wants to know that, man. Everybody wants to know how the crank turns and,
Right.
where the gears grind. And I think you've got some good stuff there in the attic.
The old noggin.
Yeah.
Like I said, it wasn't, in my career being in radio, it wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't, anything like that. You know what I mean? It was, I'm talking about radio as in like actual, like from a market. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it wasn't,
God, I want to say it so bad.
I didn't, and I learned so much. Like when I started USF doing it, right?
Right.
I knew, somewhat, but then I went to get this other gig, right? I learned so much more, not just by, broadcasting, but also the whole technical thing. And then I learned from the people that I worked with, right?
Mm-hmm.
The kind of the ins and outs and kind of, how to produce a good show, right?
Yes.
And I got to know them, personally as well. And I thank every one of them because not only, you had, the good days on air and the bad days on air.
Absolutely.
It still was a performance. It still was a show. It still was, stuff like that. And then on top of that, you get to learn how these people are, how they really are off the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that has been the most surprising.
Like what you hear
for
on
me,
the
stories that you told me, because sometimes the personality. I don't know. It's hard to differentiate between, God, how can that guy or girl be any different
Right.
off the air
Right.
than they are on the air? So when you tell me the stories of giving and understanding and just an incredibly nice person, I gotta tell you, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean it's depending on what market we're talking about.
Yeah.
This person most of the time it's a lot of dislike. But nevertheless,
No shite.
off the air, these guys are fantastic people. And I enjoyed so much, and I've learned so much more. In doing this, and doing this even with Mark the Bartender and Jazz. Like when we first started doing that, I basically just had my Apple computer out, and we just started recording on that.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of old school,
Right.
Basically off the cuff type of radio, and then on top of that, we progressed. I got a board, I got the computer working, I had wires, for my production company that I do, and on top of that, we sat on the bar chair and just talk some shit. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying in the scheme of the round scheme of things, right? All doing that, starting from scratch, from setting all this stuff up, learning what it all is, and all that jazz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Figuring out what works. Like with Matt, a buddy of mine that helped me out get the broadcast computer working, with the program that I use. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's phenomenal. Now I can go portable wherever I want to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
And you do.
And on top of that, and that's what I'm saying with all the technical stuff too, is that what I've learned from over there, from being the 4 years that I was over there, right? I've learned so much,
4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I started as an intern, obviously, and then
Right.
I proved myself, and then I got the job. You know what I mean? I think I went to 2 days a week to 2 or 3 days a week to now to then at the time it went to full time.
Now, is that a 5-day work week or?
Yes. Well, that's kind of a 5-day work week on a normal time, but if there's other gigs involved,
Right.
it's more of a, well, it's pre-planned too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I don't know how it is now. I don't know if what's changed or what's not changed. Only if if I listen, when I listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that just learning from those guys, learning how they do things, because they were in the business for a lot longer than I was in the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Learning from them, learning their techniques, developing my own techniques based on what I've learned from there. You know what I mean? Because nowadays anybody could be I don't even call these shows podcasts or not, but
Somewhat.
any of these shows nowadays you can just hook up a computer to it, hook up a USB microphone, and go at it. You know what I mean?
Look at us.
Yeah, I mean we've got the only thing that we're really missing, to be honest with you, the only thing we're really missing besides obviously like a mic arm, and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
professional mic arm and all that jazz, right? And actually the XLR hookups on the table is a processor. This show is basically run off a board.
Right.
That's how we go. We go up and down with the music and the audio and stuff like that. But if we had a processor, it would actually let us tune in a lot more. You know what I mean?
I see.
And make us sound a little bit more professional.
Right.
There's the situation I told you about with the iHeart gig, right?
Yeah.
That's being worked out too.
Nice.
I know a friend that works at iHeart, got the shows because I sent them a clips of our shows, of all three of them, right?
Yeah.
They loved it. They want to put it on theirs. You know what I mean?
Couldn't agree with them more.
But I gotta walk through another hoop to get that out. You know what I mean?
I see.
So, I mean, if anybody knows
It's all
anybody
about
that
hoops,
could
man.
build websites for free and will advertise your whatever you do, email us at bullsradiolounge@gmail.com or chime in on the chat, say, hey, I can do this, just send me your email or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But yeah, we need a website. We need like a website so we can get that feed up to them and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I do.
And I don't know anybody that really on a sort of low budget that we are. You know what I mean? And it's kind of lifting the veil behind the whole radio thing that we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But doing a sort of a low budget as we do, there's not really anybody that I know of that will do it for like less than 500.
Wow.
Or 500 or 200 or anywhere that between that range. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things to where it's like, we'll have to figure out a different way of doing this. You know what I mean?
Or find someone.
Yeah, or find somebody that could build a website.
You are out there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's where it was. I mean, it was 4 years doing that, learning all the technical stuff, meeting new people, meeting people that I've never dreamed to meet.
Right.
A lot of celebrities and stuff like that.
See, that's exciting to me.
One of which was what do they call it? Insane Clown Posse. That was probably the highlight.
Really?
Yeah,
Big fan.
I was a big fan when I was younger. You know what I mean? I wouldn't like, oh my God, I'm part of whatever, and dressing whatever.
What do they call those guys?
Yeah, Insane Clown Posse.
No. What do they call their followers?
Juggalos.
Juggalos. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But good guys.
Well, they're fantastic. Very
Nice
very
guys.
nice
Down
guys.
to earth.
Really down to earth.
Right.
And even before they even go on stage, the whole time when I escorted them from their bus into the studio, it was just nothing but coolness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real talkative people.
Just smooth.
Smooth guys.
Makes the
really
gig go smooth.
because back in the 80s and the 90s when they were really big, you would respect them.
Okay.
Like if you turned a blind eye to them or said something, they heard that,
Yeah.
they'd beat you down. You know what I mean? But nowadays,
How many of them are there?
there's two of them.
There's two of them?
Well, that's the two main guys.
Okay.
Main guys. You've got the I don't know, can't remember what their names are. You know what I'm talking about? There are two different names. But the group is Insane Clown Posse.
I do not.
You never heard of them?
I've heard of them. I'm just not I'm not a juggalo.
Well, you don't have to be a.
Well, I
juggalo
understand
to
that, but I've never followed them enough to know their name. Is what I'm saying.
And then on top of that, when they were in the studio, they announced that everybody in this room is an official juggalo. And I was like, yeah. I was
Exactly.
like, because we're all. I mean, it's like kind of going to England and getting crowned, or becoming a knighted or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
So I mean, I know it seems
I totally
really
get it.
kind of, whatever. I mean, but it's like, to me, I was excited.
Now, see, if I tell a story like that to my wife, she, does that cough, nerd, nerd. So,
But
No.
I mean, like I said, they're really good guys. I mean, everybody that I
That's-
worked with at that time is really cool and still super cool. You know what I
Well,
mean?
one day you're gonna have to let fly, some
Some stories.
some specifics. Yeah, stories anyway.
Stories.
I think it would be a good idea.
I did tell one. What was it I think it was on the Bull and the Bartender show last Tuesday. I don't know if you want to hear this one.
I might.
All right. So, do you want to wait and do this one or tell
That's
the story?
entirely up to you. I'm ready to go
All
either
right.
way.
So, one of which comes to mind is that I'm still good friends with them. They're Michael and Charlie, right, from Dominance Live, right?
Okay.
They were formerly Dominance Live, right? They'd come in the studio like when I'd have like Cheddar come in and do his knife gig, and I had Dominance Live come in and do their gig, right?
Dominance Live.
Yeah. So great group of people.
Why did I suddenly clinch up?
Well, because they were in sort of like that next extra step of behind closed doors,
I
right?
see. All right.
They have like floggers and whips and paddles and
Floggers.
kind of like
I'll flog you, bye.
It was funny because one of the times we had them in, I'd say, so did you see the or what part of, because I knew they were in the dominant stuff, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
what part of 50 Shades of Grey have you guys tried? And she's like, well, to be honest with you, we've tried that and a whole lot more. I'm like, all right, there you go.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
and I can't remember what it's called, but what it is like it's a big, not really big, but it's a long, like surgical steel toothpick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has gauges on it. To
Okay.
as you go further along, it's about that long, right?
It's got a depth chart.
And it's got about that big around at the top, and
What?
it's pointy at the bottom. Not like sharp pointy, but like rounded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what you do is you take that and you insert it into your urethra, right? And then you
Nope.
go as far as you could take it.
Nope, I don't.
So I'm like, did you want to? And you could do male or female, right?
Right.
And he had it in a little
Well, that's
Ziploc
good.
bag. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, when he brought it in the studio, he had a little Ziploc bag that he put it in.
Oh, I was like, man, what in the world is going to fall in the Ziploc bag?
So then I'm like, Michael, did you try that? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, did you do it again? He's like, no.
What? Wow.
No,
Really?
This is a big guy. This is like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type of guy.
Doesn't matter, man.
And his
that
wife
hole-
Charlie, right?
That hole stays a certain
Yeah.
size.
She was like a female version of that, but
God almighty.
But I mean, she
The
was
visual alone.
But she
is
was but she
hurtful.
wasn't like steroid type of thing.
Right.
She was like very lean and stuff like that, and that way it doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't not like, oh my God, she has so many muscles.
She was lean.
but she was lean, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but real nice people, fantastic people.
Man.
They just had a kid not too long ago too.
I don't want to know how.
No, it's a very long story on that one.
What, they show you the video or something?
No, they shared. It was a whole different medical deal.
Oh, okay.
Behind
Okay.
that, that they told us, offline. So,
What is Shaggy 2 Dope and Violent J?
Yeah, that's
their
them.
names?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
them, yeah,
Thanks, Belly.
yeah. Good job on that one.
And Lint.
He's still producing while he's at home listening.
Yeah.
I don't know about Lint, but he is.
He is. He's there.
Is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, I saw him. So anyway, yeah, just to wrap up on that is that I don't know how we got off on that one.
That's my fault.
Like I said, the great group of guys, the whole team. I'm sure it's changed by now, but I mean, even back then, a whole great group of team, and I appreciate the 4 years that they put up with me.
Yeah.
And let me just be a part of that whole group.
Did you
So-
take any of that stuff home?
What?
Any ideas or anything like that from
What do you mean?
the Dominators?
No.
No?
No.
Phew.
Why?
I couldn't do it either, man.
Okay.
I couldn't do it either. Couldn't do it either. I always found that a little intimidating.
You wouldn't try none of that?
I'd have to. What do they call the?
The what?
Not the submissive, but the.
Dominance?
Yeah, is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
I have a little problem letting go of control,
Okay.
so it would probably suit me to
Uh-huh.
be the
dominant.
No, the submissive,
Oh, okay.
so that somewhat therapeutic, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah.
But nothing in, man. Nothing in. I'll take a cat of nine tails 3 or 4 times.
But you won't take a
horse crop maybe.
But you won't take a toothpick to the deal.
No.
A stainless steel toothpick.
No.
All right.
No.
I think we've had enough of that one. So, speaking of which, switching sides to another story that we talked about last night, which I thought was pretty funny, but I want to see what you thought as well. It's a lot of words right now. See if I can play.
Gosh.
Do you recognize this song?
Only because my wife cornered me into watching that movie,
Okay.
and yeah.
So when you let it go, it kind of goes along with the story that a Florida man arrested for having sex with a stuffed Olaf.
What is this guy's problem?
He just let it go.
He had he needed to let it go.
Um,
Multiple stuffed animals.
Yeah, there was a unicorn involved in the
Wow.
assault, and there was also what I hear is a Mickey Mouse
Oh, no.
that was involved with the assault as well.
So he confessed to the officers that he had done the stupid stuff and had nutted on the Olaf doll.
He made his fur coat
Wow.
even whiter.
Wow. What is was this premeditated?
This was
I mean,
this happened in the store.
Oh my God. Where? I mean, is it Orlando?
No, it's St. Pete.
It's St. Pete. Unreal.
St. Pete.
Can I give the address?
No.
Okay.
This
That's
is
awful, man. What makes a person go in and just go right to? I mean,
I
there could
know-
have been kids. What if you had witnessed that
Uh-huh.
and your daughter or son were one aisle over, not witnessing it, but you were? What would you
Okay.
do?
Hypothetically,
Yes.
good call. There's two different things I would do, right?
Yeah.
If I was just there, right?
He
Walking
or
through
she
the
has
store.
not seen it yet.
But I mean, walking through the store,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I would probably just start filming. And be like, look
That
at
one
this
did
motherfucker.
not come to mind.
Look
Damn
at
it.
this
I'm mad at myself
motherfucker
for
right
that.
here. I mean, this guy
Yep.
is doing his deal right. I'd be going on our channel live.
They don't
right?
have it.
Who?
They don't have it.
They don't have who?
And nobody I can't believe nobody caught this guy on
Oh, no, they did.
Did they?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
It would have to have been out by now.
No, they wouldn't publish that.
What?
No.
That would go.
What do you mean that would go?
Let's say they caught him from behind.
Uh-huh.
You didn't see the purpose, you just saw the effect, right?
Well,
Or
I
maybe
don't
you didn't
know.
even see that if his back's turned to you, but yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
That gets out. That gets out. If you catch
You
him,
think somebody filmed it, you think?
if they did, then that's the first in 20 years that something this disgusting hasn't been, caught on video of any kind. That's just crazy.
I don't know. I can't find it like on Live Leak or nothing like that.
Yeah, see there.
No, I didn't. I'm still saying I didn't.
All
find
right,
it.
so you would why would you, if you didn't think it would get out, why would you film it?
No, I'd broadcast it live.
Okay, there you go.
That's what I'm saying.
It's all about loopholes.
But look at this motherfucker right here.
Oh
He's,
yeah, I wanted to see that guy. Where is
He's
that guy?
he's taking the hole off and he's taking everybody. So basically, the guy, I guess was sort of gummed up. You know what I mean? And
Not anymore.
yeah. So he had to go to a local department store, and it says right here the witnesses told police they saw Cody Meter 20 take a large Olaf from Frozen off the store shelves in St. Petersburg location and began to dry hump the toy. It gets worse. The police report claims Meter ejaculated on the Olaf doll and put it back on the shelf.
What?
Before he selected a large unicorn stuffed animal and began to have sex with that object as well. He was taken into custody and he admitted for doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Olaf unicorn stuffed animals and the if there was a Mickey involved were destroyed. It's a sad day. They had to destroy them.
How exactly were they destroyed?
Destroyed. So they took
Mickey could no longer have children.
they took the Olaf, they took the Mickey, they took the unicorn, and sadly to say, because they got assaulted, they were destroyed.
Disgusting, dude.
And we're talking this all in humor. It's not,
Yeah, nobody was harmed.
right.
No. What are the other two? What are the other two choices of what would happen if you were there? I had two in mind that you.
I'd probably
like go.
I'd probably go to the manager and go, "Hey, look, man, you know what's going on over there? You see that
Okay.
guy over there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Because I mean, he's not.
It's in the toy department, man.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? You gonna beat the guy up?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe at least toss him out.
I'm thinking safety first,
Safety first.
and then
That's a good call.
then dealing with the guy. You know what I
That's
mean?
a good call.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
Because if you just start going up on wailing a guy, then he could charge you for assault.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those places are cambered up too.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised.
I'm sure they have it.
You think
I'm sure they have it on
money,
tape.
Money just hasn't been enough to release it.
I don't
yet?
know. I don't get involved with that mess.
The $8.95 security guards going, hey,
Yeah.
y'all gonna have to offer me
That's-
something good. Y'all want to see this? Y'all gonna have to offer me something good.
No, I don't know about all that, but
We're gonna learn something today.
even the guy looks a little bit
Shady.
wishy-washy, like a child predator almost.
You know what? I would rather he do this than shoot up the joint.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
agree. I agree with that because it's people like that you really have to kind of take the situation really easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't know if they have a handgun or something like that,
That's a good point.
and they might be a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
you have to be.
And
to do
then all of a
this.
sudden, taking care of Olaf and the unicorn, because Olaf wasn't
Wow.
really ready for that.
Olaf wasn't. The
No.
unicorn,
He might have been waiting
he
for
might
it,
have been waiting for it.
but Olaf just wasn't really ready. He was just sitting on the shelf going, "Man, it's a
Minding his
beautiful
own
day."
business. Man, don't let him
Summer
go.
sun, just letting off steam. Oh, the sky.
That's what Olaf is thinking.
And you guys
You know?
Letting off steam.
But then you had a guy that come in and go, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go take care of some business. I'm gonna get my my gumption out of me."
What's the charge?
They didn't say.
Lou-
Unless you have an updated story, they didn't say.
Oh, I got one. It says he was arrested and charged with criminal mischief.
How do you
I-
get criminal mischief out of that?
I don't know. I was thinking lewd lascivious at the most.
Lewd, lascivious, assault on Olaf.
Maybe he didn't press charges. He does. Every picture I've seen, he's got a smile on his face.
I don't
so
know, man. I mean, just in light, we're just joking, but that to me, that would be like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What is going on with this guy? What is he getting into? Either he's on drugs or he's mentally insane or
you have
both.
to. You've got to be a little loose upstairs to do this.
I
in
mean,
the
would
first
that
place.
type of stuff really put you in that sort of like trance?
Lonely. Probably doesn't have a lot of friends.
Okay.
So.
But I mean, just to go to a store and start doing the deal like that, I mean, that's more of like,
Excuse me. It may be personal too.
like, for example, like New York, right, has a law that you can go braless and topless.
Really?
Yeah, they don't have a like, what's his name? Bruce Willis was in the news a couple years ago, right? His daughter did that.
Good for her.
It was all over, TMZ. You know what I mean? And they people reported it, but they couldn't do anything because it's saying that you can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my thing is like maybe this guy is thinking it's okay to do that.
No way.
You know what I mean? I mean that's maybe his mind is I don't know, but maybe that's he's wired.
Better to say you're sorry than ask for
Yeah.
permission. I guess. I don't know. Just
And as I say that
it's a lot of mental
to-
stuff going on with that.
right to go up there and actually like talk to the guy and go, hey, look, buddy, you okay?
Oh man,
You need some help.
I wouldn't want to be the officer that talked to him either.
Because like I said, he could be having a handgun right there or something right there in his pocket or something like that. May have to like get the taser out and start tasing him real quick.
He'd like it.
He probably would.
He'd probably like it.
So
Do it again.
do it again.
Hit me again. Hit
Do
me,
it again,
baby,
Daddy.
One more time. That's right.
But yeah, it's just one of those things that you hear about because it's like Walmart. You hear much about Walmart, about how the people sort of dress in Walmart.
Yeah, that's why I was so surprised that that no pictures or anything came out because
Now, do you get offended with people that dress like that in like Walmart or whatever department store you go to?
yeah, I see it more at those like Spooky. I'm probably going to attend next weekend.
What, Spooky Empire?
Spooky Empire. And I
that-
see it more
wait a
in
minute,
those places.
Spooky Empire?
Yes.
That's a convention.
Yes.
So you're going to Spooky Empire
Yes.
next weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see Alice,
wanna
Alice
see-
Cooper.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to Spooky Empire.
I can't believe you've never been.
Never been. The first person that actually has got what was telling me about it, right, was Scott Swanson.
Okay.
So he used to be, part of my show as well.
Right.
But he travels all over the country. You know what I mean? He goes he went to haunt shows in California. He went to haunt shows here.
Wow.
All over. He was the guy who created Hollow Scream.
Nice.
Yeah, and I had him in the studio hosting the show.
Well done.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've always wanted to go, and I've heard that the only way to get into something like that, as a guest, is you have to like know somebody as a vendor, or you have to have permission.
Really?
Like the big haunt world type ones.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know about the spooky one. Is that like a normal convention?
It's just a normal
okay.
just a normal
But I
convention.
know like the haunted house ones. You know what I mean? Where they sell like the props and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called. The haunt con, not haunt cons, but they're like it's like a display of all the new attractions for haunted houses.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what it's called.
That would be cool.
But I'd love to go to that. But
Yeah.
you have to like be in the business and actually have like your credentials for that, or know somebody that's a vendor.
yeah, let's work on that.
Yeah, I would
Start
love
schmoozing
to
some
go to
people.
that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Heck yeah,
that would
be awesome.
phenomenal to go do.
Walk through something like that, man. Ooh.
Yeah,
How much is that?
yeah.
How much can you give me? I'll give you.
But yeah, he's traveled all over the country, and that's
That's
kind of
cool.
cool that you're going to the spooky thing because, I've always wanted to go to that, see what it's
you
like.
should, man.
I
It's
don't-
fun. It's fun to walk around, but
Right.
some of the people in their character outfits are really super cool, and then
Okay.
there are those that probably should stick to, regular clothes
All
even
right.
even when they go to something like this. And
What are they too? A little bit, dressed sort of scantily clad, or
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and not in the best, not in the best physical shape for
Okay.
the type of outfit that they're wearing.
okay,
So people look at them. You don't see, but you don't see a lot of finger pointing, and you don't see a lot of
Right.
people just sitting there. It's not just a sit around and
everybody
and look at
likes
people
pretty
fest.
much, everybody.
yeah.
right?
Some people I get just flat out on target with
Uh-huh.
their costumes.
Okay.
Your Deadpools,
Right.
things like that.
We have
I
like
don't
Freddy
know
Krueger there,
where-
Jason.
Always,
Yeah,
always.
Chucky's.
A lot of Chucky dolls.
Okay.
Very few people dress their kids up as Chucky.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's cool that people bring their kids.
So they're not, haunted by that later. You know what I mean?
No. In fact, as a matter of fact, in one of the last ones I attended, we were walking out, and it was kind of one of those I talked about before. Not a real good one because it was just not organized
Was it just
well.
too small? Or?
No, just not organized well.
Okay.
They botched up a bunch of things. Anyway, I was walking out, and there was this. I didn't see him without his mask, but
Okay.
he was still holding on to his mom's hand, walking.
Right.
And he had on. It was so cool. I don't like to talk to people when I'm out, but I
Okay.
actually. Anyway, he had a little Freddy Krueger, or I'm sorry, a Michael Myers mask on
Nice.
with a little tiny, pair of overalls on
Nice.
and a little knife in his hand, and he was just booking down there with his mom. And I stopped and I said, has he seen the movie? And she goes, yes, he loves it. And I
Nice.
said, really?
How old was he?
I think she said he was like 3 or 5 or something like
Okay.
that, 4 or 5. And I said, well, I think you're a cool mom for letting him do that. And I think that he looks awesome. And she said, thank you very much. And I just continued
Very
walking.
nice.
Yeah,
Very
so
nice.
it was really
I've
really
never
cool.
really been to. I've been to one con, if you will, right?
Uh-huh.
And that was the Space Coast Comic Con. For Joel,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was all right. I mean, it was very small, very condensed. Did a lot of networking for the show.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I never actually been to like a con. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's worth
a
it.
Comic
Well,
Con or
I think it's worth it if the people are there that you want to see. Obviously. I mean, there are attractions. There are like paintings and people that do horror masks
Okay.
and things like that. They're always interesting to talk to about their art. There's local people there.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Carrollwood that does some art, and he's pretty cool. But they were, the reason I got into it was because it was based on a lot of horror.
right
And lately it's kind of wandered away from that.
to where?
Just everywhere.
Okay.
You've got, like, the last one I went to, I was able to get, I forgot his first name, but Spinny, the guy who did the characters for Big Bird and the Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street.
Oh, okay.
He
All
was
right.
there, and then there was,
At a horror convention?
well, that's just it. It's not a horror convention, so I kind of have to back off my expectations. The first one I ever went to, it was Danielle Harris,
Okay.
from one of the Halloweens, Adrienne Barbeau,
Okay.
Tony Moran.
Wow.
Tony Moran was one of the first Michael Myers,
Okay.
in 78.
Yeah.
So it was horror focused. And I
Uh-huh.
think
What was the con called?
you know what? It might have been the Orlando Spooky Empire.
Was it? Okay.
It might have been, because I remember it was there's only 2 hotels we attend for the 2 that come out in Orlando.
Okay.
And I believe at that year it might, if it wasn't, I apologize, Spooky, but that
Well,
was
do you
a
know
fun
them
year.
personally or?
No.
Okay. All right.
No. Lint's got an inside person, but
Does he really?
Yeah, buddy of mine used her for shirts the last time we were there. So,
Okay.
Thank her again. That was awesome.
Well, maybe he can like get us on the inside track, and we can
That's
like
what I was hoping.
do a
maybe
show or
finagle
something.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. Get something going next week. But it's the same at this. At the other one was
which one?
MegaCon, the last one I went to. That was in
Was that in Orlando?
Yeah.
Are they
Oh,
packed?
I'm sorry. That was no, that was at the Tampa Convention Center also.
Okay.
Yeah, because we just.
Are they really
walked in.
packed?
Depends. Like your Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
It depends on the day you go.
Okay. All right.
When we go, we hope that the person or persons are there on Friday.
Okay.
Honestly,
Uh-huh.
Saturday is just a big. Just
Clusterfuck.
sweat fest,
Really?
And Sunday,
Everybody dressed up in all their costumes, sweating all over the place.
pretty much. I mean,
Now,
it's interesting, but
do they
the
have like a
lines
lot
are
of
lot
groping?
longer. No,
Because I've seen signs on some of them where it says groping is not allowed, and if you get caught and stuff like that, which I didn't even think they had that.
well, obviously, I'm sure they put that sign there because
Uh-huh.
there was some groping.
Groping,
going on.
okay.
And again, some of these young ladies come in, some of them need to be dressed like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
Every day. And they, but I have not been privy to anybody getting dragged out, anybody getting
no
yelled
fights or
at,
nothing like that?
No, I've never seen a
Right.
fight. A lot of cutting in line, a
Really?
lot of that shit.
Do you pay to get people's pictures?
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
How much have you paid so far?
The highest I have paid is $50.
Okay, so it's not that bad.
No, Stallone and Schwarzenegger each are $500 apiece.
That's what I heard.
I would never do that.
And there's one guy that did it. That one a couple of years ago. Fox 13 had a story about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't.
$500 to get a selfie with him.
I like
and whatever
being a
else he got.
fan, but
Yeah, I don't know. That's too much.
Yeah.
And the way they had it set up was like it was a complete box, right? But the way to get in, right, is the curtains were like this. So you had to walk in between the curtains to go into where he was.
Right.
That way nobody else can take a picture of him.
Right.
You know what I
Linda
mean?
Carter did that.
Did she?
Yeah.
Why?
Linda Carter did that.
Like, is that like more of a personal experience?
I
or?
think it's more. I really think it's the money thing.
Okay.
When it's down
So
on the
that way
floor,
nobody else takes pictures.
Right, because she had the show before. Well, she had a show.
Who, Linda Blair?
Linda Carter.
Or Linda Carter.
The
okay.
old, the 77 Wonder Woman.
Right.
So she little,
Yeah.
little venue
Okay.
show, and it
Variety
was good.
show.
It was good.
Okay.
It was okay. She kind of forgot the words a couple times, and
Well, she's old too, so.
and she's been known to.
Okay. Dibble back on the
she
bottle.
loves vodka.
Does she really?
Well, she's supposedly on the wagon, but I think that night, man, it was really hard to say she wasn't a loony drunk.
Really? Okay.
So up there in that venue, you were allowed to film. You were allowed to take pictures.
Right.
Because you'd paid for that portion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So then you get down on the floor with the other celebrities, and then it's no pictures. You can't stand out beyond the line marker.
Okay.
And like, hey, hold me up. And
Yeah.
They'll nail you for that.
What will they do to you?
Basically tell you to turn your camera off.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, but if it continues, I'm sure they would ask you to leave. And the reason I say that is because I've never seen a repeat offender.
Okay.
Once
Everybody does their own. They don't follow the rules.
I think everybody gives it a shot, and then once they're told to lock it down,
Yeah.
I think the money you paid to get in is kind of taking effect, and
Gotcha.
and
How much did you get in?
typically about $35 or something
For
like
the
that.
day?
For a day, yeah.
Really?
And
Even
they have
for-
weekend passes.
What about
and things.
Spooky?
About
That's
35
$35
I think so.
yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you went to those things.
Yeah, I like those. I
Yeah?
like going. I when there's somebody, I've traveled all the way to Orlando for one person.
Okay.
So again, if it's worth it and it was horror related, I'll do it.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the deal.
You just don't look like a horror type person.
Love it.
You look more of an
Love it.
action type person.
Love action movies. I
Uh-huh.
do. I'm not a, I like sitting. I will sit at home, watch a rom-com with my wife.
Okay.
But I won't go out by myself and watch
Uh-huh.
a rom-com or a chick flick or something
Right,
like
right,
that.
right.
But I love horror. I'm really hoping that they, pick up these next two Halloweens a little notch. Cause
I wish they would just continue it from where it ended. You know what I mean? And then
the next two?
yeah.
Oh, they're going to.
I hope so, because every Halloween they've done, it's always been something different.
No, this is all continuity. This is David Allen Green.
From the very last one, right? Where
From-
Jamie Lee Curtis traps him in the basement.
Yeah,
All right, so it's going to go pick up from there.
it's going to pick up from there.
All right, so you've got her and the daughter.
I already got a little Iggy on that.
Iggy, what's
actually.
that?
Well,
Does he survives the fire, right?
that is the premise of the heavy breathing at the end
That's
of the
what I
credits.
thought, yeah.
That's what that's your end credit scene. That's
Okay,
what they said.
That's what I figured.
So a little dorky, but I liked Jamie Lee Curtis's page,
Okay.
and so she sent out the little filming began today.
Oh, so it's confirmed.
So last week they started filming the next one, and she said in a picture about 2 days later, she goes, "Well, back here again," and they showed the outside of the Haddonfield Hospital.
Okay.
So apparently, we're going to take a little stroll back to the Haddonfield Hospital, like Halloween 2. So that might actually be your Halloween 2, because they picked up from the original 78 Halloween, not from Halloween 2.
Okay.
So it may just be, her getting stitched up and then getting the hell out of there.
Do you know what it's called?
Let's see. One is, I think the third one is Halloween Dies, and the second one is,
Because I have a Halloween Kills.
that's it.
Is that in
That's the next one.
2020?
That's next year, and then Halloween Dies the year after that. And both David Allen Green and the guy I like. He's the
Who?
actor. He's the curly-haired guy. Fudge.
I don't know.
He was in Vice Principals. He's in The Righteous Gemstones.
No, nothing ringing a bell.
Gosh darn it.
Okay. In this IMDb brief, we give you
This
a
is the
month-by-month breakdown of the most
Halloween
horror
Kills
movies
that's coming out.
next
Oh,
year.
nice.
January will kick 2020 off to a spooky
Wow,
start.
this is
with
not
intriguing
Halloween.
films,
This is different, I guess, different
including a
films.
bloody hard R remake.
See if I can find it. I hate when they do that. When you're trying to watch a movie,
Yeah, buddy.
and then but speaking of horror films, did you watch In the Tall Grass?
I haven't watched that. Somebody else told me about that. Should
I'm
I
about
watch it?
3/4 of the way,
Oh, okay.
and I have to rewatch it over again. Okay.
Yeah.
Dave McBride is going to play in the new Halloween?
Oh, that's it. Danny McBride. Thank
Wow.
you. No, he's not a player. He's writing it.
Really?
He and
The
David
second
Allen.
movie
Yeah.
in the new Halloween trilogy from director David Gordon Green,
David
writer
Gordon
Danny
Green, thank you.
McBride, and star Jamie Lee Curtis.
He waited for this
So
night.
it's all continuity this
He's
time.
waited for me. I've waited for him.
For more horror news and terrifying tales, stay glued to
She
imdb.com/IMDbrief.
was so good in that movie.
But so he's coming back, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to be like a new, or he's going after Jamie Lee Curtis all over again, right?
Oh yeah.
And this all stems from what?
Okay.
Wasn't she like babysitting?
No. I'm not sure. This is like a comic book series.
Okay.
So
Because
here's your number one all over again.
Here's what I understand, right? From number 1,
Mm-hmm.
where he goes into the
78.
the mental hospital, right?
Okay.
Until the very newest one that's out now. Not before the Halloween Kills, the one before that,
Right.
where she thinks she burns them in the basement.
Mhm.
Okay,
The most recent.
the most recent one,
Mhm.
right? From that movie, the first one, until that one picks up from the first one. That's what I'm told.
Yes.
So it's a continuation from that very first one.
This one has yes, it's already continued on because we're 40
What's what I'm
years.
saying? All the films before that is not included in that element.
There's been little hints. I don't know if you caught them or not of little, what do you call them? Shout outs, I guess you'd call them.
Okay.
To the other films. The biggest one to the one that didn't even have to do with Michael Myers, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Okay.
Those kids were walking down the street. Each had a pumpkin, skeleton, and witch head on. Those were
I didn't notice that.
Those were from Season of the Witch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, it's been a long time since I've seen all the Halloween movies.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I watched them when I was a kid.
I really stop at 2. And if Season of the Witch is on,
right,
I'll watch it.
Watch it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm told is from the first one to the most recent one, that's the two that are from continuity.
Right.
They go from one. That's the starting point, end point.
So when
now.
he falls out of the window, when the psychiatrist shoots him at the end of the first one in 78,
yeah,
he's captured.
Right, and now he's been in the penitentiary or the mental hospital since
for
now.
40 years.
The scene with the reporters and him.
Oh man!
They had when he dropped the teeth from the top of the overhead of the door.
I swore up and down that they were going to be standing there with Michael, in that scene, and
right.
he pulls out the mask, and she was going to say, "God, getting him to talk is like pulling teeth."
That'd have been funny.
Now, wouldn't that have been funny
That'd
as
have been
shit?
funny,
and
yeah.
then
He just drops the teeth.
But still,
Do you think he's still alive though? The
Michael?
guy? No, the guy. Because he didn't really kill him.
Oh, yeah, he's dead.
Nah, he didn't
I
really
think
kill him.
He killed him. I do.
You think so? Because he
yeah.
was still breathing.
That guy.
When he killed, after he killed the girl,
fucked up.
yeah, he was still. Well, did you see him turn too?
Yeah.
The very first time he has ever been filmed without a mask.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nobody believes it. Like, yeah, look at the movie.
I can't freeze it.
I did.
I
4 or
can't-
5 times.
Did you?
Yeah, you don't have it on DVD?
I do, or not on DVD. See, I'm doing it on demand. So I'm
you
trying
still don't you have a pause
to,
button?
yeah,
So
but
just
I
pause
can't
it.
catch it at that.
Press
at
the
that
pause
moment.
button and press the forward button. It'll go from one
Slow,
frame to
yeah,
another.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I love that trick when I'm watching
yeah.
football. Yeah.
But that's what I did with that one. I like paused it right where because he has like a one white
One
left
white
eye.
eye.
Yeah, and then a
And that
scar.
was so important, man.
Yeah.
That was huge.
See, my thing is like, who shaves him?
Not me.
Yeah, I mean, who gets that job?
See, he's smart. He can drive. I'm sure he shaves himself. He takes care of himself. Yeah.
Now, is he just like pure like evil, or is he
Pure.
just sort of like? I mean, he just sort of
Pure
flipped his
evil,
wig.
man. He's just pure evil.
Okay.
He is.
So is there something up
See,
there?
I root for the bad guy, so
Okay.
this is just making me giddy inside.
But
talking
does he?
about Michael
Is there
Myers.
something up there, or he just sort of
Yeah,
like,
I'm telling you, he's intelligent. He's
or he just
crazy
Sort of,
smart.
he just sort of just has an
Wanders around.
instinct of killing.
That's all he knows. That's all he does. Killed his babysitter when the family was out.
So Jamie Lee Curtis is what in this film? Like, what is the relationship
They have
between
not.
them?
Okay. Now they mentioned. Now they did this in the trailer.
Okay.
But when the three of them, right after she sees her grandmother, right after the granddaughter sees Jamie Lee at the school, and they talk, and then the three of the teenagers are walking down the sidewalk, and they mention that that was her brother, and she's like, "Nah, that was all bullshit." you know?
yeah. When she's talking to her boyfriend or
So
whatever.
they kind of blew that off,
Yeah.
and then they take you back to the Judith Myers grave. And,
Okay.
And that has always been like,
Right.
who the hell is? Because everybody thought in the first movies that was like, the babysitter and that he killed first. But then he goes back and he steals the mother's headstone. And there's really no copacetic answer to that.
Okay.
Really no justifiable
You
answer.
think there's something in his memory that just sort of struck to do that?
8 years old was the first time he did this.
Okay.
So no, I think
So,
I think he
again,
just grabbed a knife and
Where does Jamie Lee Curtis come from? What
I
is
don't-
what is her
the
role
one
in this
that got
thing?
away? Maybe. If not, then
Because I
then
always
they're gonna bring up maybe the reason they left out 2 because it was relevant in '78 when they left out this. If they're leaving out the second one, and the second one revealed that that Michael was Jamie's brother,
But that's what I always thought, that he was James.
for those
James
movies.
right.
So now, since we've started at the first, I'm not really sure where they're going to go with it.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I would say brother somehow, but I don't know how. Nobody was home. He was there with a babysitter.
Which he killed the babysitter.
Right. So I'm not sure. And then the parents drive up, and that's why they're outside on the sidewalk going, "Michael, what are you doing? Michael, what's going on?" And he's just standing there with the knife in his hand, staring into space.
And just staring
So,
aimlessly.
didn't kill the parents.
Right.
If Judith Myers is the mother, she was there.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm not really sure. Not really
I
sure.
I don't know. I
Yo
always
to you.
I always pictured Jamie Lee being the brother, because she sort of, and that's to my next point, is what is his thing about trying to kill Jamie Lee? If there's no relation, if there's,
I don't think we know yet.
or she got away, right?
Yeah.
Why is she so scared? Why is she always in the movie, she's behind the prison, every time, thinking that he's going to get out every Halloween.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This time she wanted it.
Right. So
Yeah.
what is her deal, and why can't they shoot him in the goddamn head? It's like all those scenes you see her
That's a good
firing
po-
a gun and shooting the targets. Why can't she shoot them in the head?
2 headshots in Halloween 2 now.
Really?
2 headshots in
Okay.
Halloween 2, and then that's
And
the
he's
other
still
reason
alive.
you have to burn it. You have to burn the second one because he burned in the second one. But in
He came
Halloween,
back.
He did come back, and I thought it was a good premise.
Okay.
I did watch that one. That's the way I would have done it.
What,
is
you burn them and then come back?
He burnt, but he's heavily scarred. But
Okay.
and then he's just able to.
Because
Go
you don't
back
know what he
and
looks like
Keep doing, yeah.
in all the movies. You don't know what he looks like without
Just
the
his
mask
hands.
on.
You
Just
see
the
his
hands.
hands. And then,
But and then the latest one, you see him actually turn his head.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I think she's his brother
I agree. I think that's
or
where
sister.
they're gonna go again.
But I mean, that's to me that'd be the most logical conclusion. I mean, what do you think?
And it would explain the connection perfectly.
Yeah, because if
you
not,
know.
then you just have some guy.
She's just the sister of a violent, sadistic, evil son of a bitch.
So, do you think there's any brain activity medically with your background? Do you think there's anything possibly up there?
God, yes.
Okay.
I think he's a genius.
So then why the silence?
What's he got to say?
He
He really has nothing to say.
Uh-huh.
His basic form of communication is to watch you die. And that little head tilt.
I mean,
that
it's-
doesn't freak you out, man.
Yeah.
Nothing will.
I mean, kind of like Jason too. Jason's the same way.
Jason's okay.
Yeah.
I know there's Jason fans out there, and I love the Jason franchise. I mean, they kept it together. They kept it together a little bit better than they kept the Halloween
Right.
stories together.
So what
But-
do you think that if a Jason and Michael Myers, like a Jason and Freddy happened,
Yeah,
they did a Jason and
That was
Michael
fun.
Myers? That was a funny movie. Freddy
yeah,
Krueger,
that whole cornfield scene was
Oh, yeah.
the best. Man, that was shot.
I liked it.
well.
I like the one where he's playing like what do you call it? What's the pinball?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
the pipes. When he's putting Jason back and forth.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Laughing about it. Yeah,
That-
I
I
just
mean,
watched that the other day. It was
Did you really?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good premise.
And then at
It's
the
like
end,
a good crossover. You know what I mean?
well,
You-
because
and you want to read it, you definitely
right.
want to watch it.
well, Freddy fans are waiting for that for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
They wanted that crossover between the two, and it opened in Japan for a couple years before it came to the States.
I think your problem with Michael and Jason is that neither talks.
But that would be funny though.
You'd have to have all the characters talk. Freddy was comic relief for,
Right.
for the fight and
That is true.
really
yeah.
got into it, you
Yeah.
know, and made the cracks, Those two going at it, and
What about like a Freddy and Chucky?
that would be funny.
A Freddy and Chucky
That would be a good
battle,
movie.
like
All
a
right,
movie.
stop it right there. We'll talk about that off there before somebody steals our idea.
Did you like the remake of Freddy?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see that one?
No, that was.
It starred
that was
the
a
guy
Lion
from,
King. Yeah, we talked. Yeah,
Did we talk about that one?
Yeah, that was a Lion King situation to me.
Oh, okay.
I had
All right.
no. The
I mean,
the
it went-
original guy's still alive. Let him keep doing
Robert
it.
Englund?
Yeah, Thank you.
He said he wasn't going to do it.
Oh, okay.
No,
I
he said
thought
he
they
was-
didn't even ask him.
No, he said he would. Yeah, they asked him to do it for
He
the
said no.
new film, but he said I'm done with the Freddy franchise.
Yeah.
You know,
The only
which
reason,
I respect that.
Yeah, the only reason the Resurrection and H2O, was it Resurrection? Well, either way, H2O
I think
and,
H2O and then Resurrection.
and then both
Something like
had
that.
Jamie in them.
Yeah.
You know, had Jamie Lee
Right.
Curtis in them. And even after the hang upside down stab in the back,
Mhm.
you know, you could have still said, you know, she's got the gene in her. If you'd done another movie, she could have lived.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, but that was the only way you were going to make it happen. Is if, I mean, it's
The
Jason
dynamic.
and thank you. That's the word I
Right.
was looking for. It's Jason and the teenagers. It's Michael and Jamie.
Right.
You know, and anybody
And
that
everybody
gets
else
in the
gets in the way.
yeah,
Yeah, gets killed.
yeah.
So what would you think if Jamie Lee Curtis actually? It kind of reminds me of the Avengers movie. You know, at the end where Thanos is just sort of sitting, just looking around. I think
Yeah.
Michael Myers would
He's
just
gotta
do that
now what do I do?
because you know they show like a full fight scene. They do all the normal stuff in a Michael Myers film, right?
Right.
But at the end, Michael Myers actually kills Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, if it's at the end, then
And then you know I mean, how would you think about that one?
doing it at the beginning, at the beginning of that Resurrection, I thought was,
What?
I thought it kind of killed the story before the movie took off.
Okay.
Because that same thinking, you know,
Uh-huh.
that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right. That's a main
Michael
star.
Myers,
Right.
Or part of the dynamic, like you said,
Yeah.
of what makes Michael. So, you know, and it worked. I mean, that whole content,
Right.
you know, they put content out there, and that movie
and it
worked.
worked.
That movie worked.
It was a good franchise.
It was,
You know.
and so you know, even with the people they had around, was that Tara Reid, correct?
For which one?
For Resurrect, when
I
they were in
think
the
so,
house,
yeah.
and,
It's been a while since I've
and
seen those.
Coolio, that's his name, right?
I know it's been a while.
Right. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea, and it worked, but only because she was in it. And when he's in the other ones, like they even tried when they made Danielle Harris a cousin of Jamie. So what? You know, she was never. I don't know. It kind of.
Busta Rhymes was
Busta Rhymes.
was
Thank
Freddie
you.
Harris. I didn't think
Thank
I didn't
you,
even know he
Busta
played
Rhymes
in that
on
movie.
Coolio. I don't know my rappers.
Let's
So-
see. Sean Patrick Thomas is Rudy.
Some
Man.
of those guys, like I think the main kid that was sitting at the computer went on to do a couple other teeny bopper
Oh, really?
things.
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. It's been a couple of years. Can't remember when did it come out? What did it say?
Which one's that?
2002.
What's that?
2002 it came out.
What?
Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah. Wow. Really?
Yeah, 2002.
Holy crap!
1 year after
17.
9/11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wee you.
But yeah, I mean I
I'm an
think
old man.
I think all these films are great. I mean they were really done fantastic. I mean, you know, Jason all the way down to Chucky to I mean Leatherface didn't really go very far. You know, they had a couple big movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
They,
but that's about it.
they keep coming back with the
With the what?
remake of that. You know.
Well, they haven't done a
Since-
really good remake in a while.
I saw.
how much more
after
can you
seeing
do?
the original,
How much could you really do with a bunch of hillbillies running around?
right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, what was the guy R.L. Mooney? Is that his name? The guy, the drill sergeant guy, the Marine drill sergeant guy.
Ernie. It's
Ernie, is
something- yeah,
Ernie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the sheriff,
Yes.
and I think it was like the first remake or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had the whole family in there.
And then at the end, he's part of the family.
Well, he is part of the family.
right.
He's the one that go gets them.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
And they're all
brings 'em-
sitting around the dinner table.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
Yeah.
but-
And then
But,
Matthew McConaughey played in one called what was it called? Leatherface, you know, Resurrection or Leatherface 3000 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll have
Matthew
to find
McConaughey. He plays like a real crazy nutball character.
Holy shit.
You never heard of that?
I have not.
It was Oh, what was the movie called? It wasn't Leatherface. That's the character. What was the movie called? The
Texas
Chainsaw
Chainsaw
Massacre.
Massacre.
Yes. I don't know why I forget that. You know that's not true, right?
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
I still think it is.
No. It's
Don't
not
listen
true.
to bull people. It's a true story.
It's not true. It's all
Pulling your chain.
a farce. God, it's sort of hard to do a show and then try to pull up shit too.
Hold on, I can do this too.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, let's see. I want to say it's what was it? The Next Generation, I think it was.
All right, now there's a.
Let's see.
Oh my God! I cannot believe there's been this many movies out.
Yeah, Renee Zellweger, Matthew McConaughey.
What?
Yeah.
Which one? I'm looking at all of them.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
95. Yeah.
Yep. He was all there.
What the shit?
Yep. It's a crazy, freaky movie. Like Matthew McConaughey goes nuts in that movie. Just sort of slapping people around, killing people, the whole 9 yards. I'm trying to pull up the video here now to watch the trailer. Let's see it pull up. Here's the trailer. We'll show the trailer and then we'll go out
returns
with some
to
words.
bring you back to the cutting edge of terror. Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. If looks could kill, he wouldn't need a chainsaw.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Isn't that crazy?
Get the fuck out of here. I had no idea that wasn't even out there.
Yeah, they play it on regular TV all the time. I kid you not.
You did not.
They do it on regular TV
Wow.
all the freaking time.
But did you see how many actual movies there are?
Oh, there's a whole bunch.
It's crazy.
We're going to go on the words real quick, and when we come back, we're going to try to get Lint on the phone. We're going to do our football picks.
Call us Lint.
And we got to figure out who won first, and then go on from there.
I think I had a good week.
Did you have a good week?
I think I had a good week, but I didn't catch you.
I have
guys.
the list up here, and we'll show it, when we come back. So stay tuned. The Bullshitter Show. Welcome to the 5 listeners. Please check in. Tell us where you are, where you're listening from, how you're listening.
You can email us your comments, too.
Yeah. bullsradiolounge@gmail.com. And just let us know how the show is, how we're doing. Always like a good report card. Be back in a minute. The Bullshitter Show. Bulls Radio Lounge.
You like this that song that I hope we can move to. If not, just imagine me with you. And I hope I'm right. This that song that I hope you like. This that song that I hope we can.
Radio Lounge. The Bullshitter Show. I think we got James in the line. Hopefully it works. James, are you there?
Who's James?
Lint.
Lint. Sorry, I got confused there for a minute.
Hey guys, what's going on?
I'm sorry? Excuse me?
I said, hey guys, what's going on?
Oh, okay. Didn't hear there for the music. Well, Lint is now on the phone with us,
What up?
and we have some football picks to talk about. Let me try to get you fired off. We've been having
You're fired off.
some technical issues going on here with this thing tonight. So, anyways, Lint, how you doing?
I'm good, fellas. How are you guys?
Not bad. Just kind of doing a show without you, buddy.
You guys are doing fantastic. I've been listening in.
Oh,
Oh.
thanks, man.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Wish you were here. Wish you could be in the.
Oh,
Wish you were her. I mean, here.
I know you wish I was her. It's okay.
So, what you got, man?
Hey,
So,
hey, listen. Enjoy your day off next Friday.
oh, I will. Thank you.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I will be subsequently out of town. So,
Good. Good for you. You need a vacation.
So we're no show next Friday. Enjoy your guys' vacation too. I mean,
Yeah, it's cool. And then I miss you. It's gonna suck, but hey, I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
well, like I said, you guys can sit there and do a show like on a computer or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Maybe we'll explore that. Maybe me, Christian, and Belly can come up with something.
Yeah, do something. Like you guys get together and just sort of open up your computer, press record, and see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
All kinds of
I'll get with
shadiness.
Christian. Yeah, I'll get with Christian. That'd be fun.
All
All
right.
right, here's what we got. Last week, Christian won.
Which I'm trying to pull that up now
went-
on the screen. All right, it's
You
live
went
on the screen.
9 and 5.
Nine and
5,
five.
and you and I went 8 and 6, Bull.
Nice.
See,
So for the season, I am 57 and 47.
Okay.
Bull is 54 and 50, and Christian is 51 and 53.
so I can lock it up.
All right. The other thing we're going to have to do is I'm not ready for week 9, so we'll have to figure out how you guys can send me your picks for that too. So we have that in the chute.
All right.
I'll just do it the way I did last week.
All right. Seahawks at the Falcons.
Wait a minute. I'm
What?
sorry. I must be lost. We're doing. What don't you have, Lint?
Week 9 is not ready because I was not sure that we weren't doing a show next Friday, so I'm not prepared for those picks. So we'll do this.
Oh. Man, we
Then I'll get with
just
you
call it
guys.
our bye week.
Yeah, we could do a bye week too. That's fine if you guys want to do that. That's cool.
I'm
too.
good with that.
Yeah.
Just do a bye week.
All right, cool. All right, that's cool.
That it just
All right,
saves save. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Seahawks at the Falcons.
Seahawks at the Falcons. I'm gonna go Falcons.
Taking the Seahawks.
I'm taking the
Falcons, I'm
Seahawks.
taking the Seahawks. All right.
I don't know if the Falcons are even going to get a second half of the season rebound, man. They are shit in the bed.
You called that one, buddy. Chargers at the Bears.
Chargers at the Bears.
At the Bears.
I'm gonna go Chargers.
All right.
It's
I'm gonna take
real
the Bears.
Bears.
I'm going to
Yep.
take the Chargers.
Chargers. All right.
Man, they're both kind of playing
Giants
shit
at the
right now.
at the Lions. Giants at the Lions.
Giants of the Lions.
At the Lions?
At the Lions.
I'm gonna go Lions.
All right. I'm gonna go Lions as well.
Ooh,
Yep.
it's up to you. What do you want to do?
I'm taking the Lions in that one for
He's
sure.
taking the Lions.
Hell yeah.
All 3 Lions.
Christian, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, brother. What's up?
Really?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
You hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
I got you right now.
Can you hear me now?
Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Apparently, we have lost the connection between
Lent, are you on mute?
Lint. Let me try to recall him back. This is what happens when the hamsters start screwing up. I'm calling Lint as
Can
we
you
speak.
hear me now?
Yeah. You still there? Can you got me?
I got you.
All right. Jesus
Can you
Christ.
hear me?
Hey, do me a favor.
Pick.
Feed the hamster that just lost connection on your side of the fence.
That's you, buddy.
Li-
Hey,
I took the
I
Lions.
didn't hear Christian's pick. Giants, Lions.
Lions. No way I'm taking the Giants in that game.
All 3 Lions.
We all lying.
Lions, okay.
Every one of us lying.
Lions.
Jets at the Jaguars.
Jets at the Jaguars.
Jaguars. Christian says Jaguars.
Connection's no good.
I'm going to say
Can you hear me now?
Jaguars too.
Copy.
Are you
Copy.
there? Hello? God, what the hell?
Lint.
Let me try calling him again.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
I
Somehow
don't know
you keep
what's
losing
going on.
us.
Whatever hamsters you got in the chute today.
Nah, man, I think it's the actual
They missed
connection
me.
itself.
No, the hamsters missed me, bro.
All right.
That's all it is.
I took the Jaguars.
Squeaky. Jets at the Jaguars. What do you guys got?
I'm going to go Jaguars.
Where's my pen? Okay. Christian?
Jaguars, man.
All right, I'm taking the Jets.
Duval County.
All right, next up.
Next up is the Bengals at the Rams.
Bengals at the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams.
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 All right, Rams across the board. Okay.
We
Next
all
up,
ramming it.
we all Rams and Lions. Hold on, my glasses just fogged up on me.
Oh, here we go.
Son of a
Now he
bitch.
needs hamsters to clean his glasses.
I do, man. I do. Bucks at the Titans.
By the way, are you driving when you're doing this?
No, I'm not driving. I am walking, though. I have to go grab something.
Okay.
But I'm mobile. I'm doing it all. I'm doing it all, buddy.
He's mobile.
Well, I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Me too.
I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Okay.
But, man, I tell you.
All right, let me get some light here.
Yeah, are you writing this down as you speak while you're walking?
As we speak, buddy, while I walk.
Are
Eagles
you
at
like?
the Bills.
Are you walking through your neighborhood?
No, I'm walking. I'm at a function for one of my kids, so that's why I have to take the night off.
Oh, okay.
So I'm taking a little quick minute, but now I have to go back.
Okay.
Eagles at the Bills.
Eagles and the Bills.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take the Bills.
Okay. Me too.
Really?
Yep.
I'm going to take the Eagles in that one.
I'm sorry.
Eagles for Christian.
Eagles. Okay. Broncos at the Colts. I'm taking the Colts.
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 Okay. Cardinals at the Saints. I'm taking the Saints.
Cardinals and the Saints. I'm gonna go Saints.
Can run on them.
All right. Hey, guys, let me call you right back.
Saints.
Okay. All right.
All right. Saints, I got you. All right.
See ya. Wow, what a trooper.
What a trooper. Hanging in there, man.
Yeah. I guess
function.
we'll get back to Lint with more of his football picks in just a moment.
Tell me about your worst Halloween ever.
My worst
Bull.
Halloween ever. Let's see. Probably when I was a kid and somebody else calling? No. All right. Probably when I was a kid and not being able to sort of pick what I wanted.
To where?
No, to eat as the candy. You know what I mean?
Wow, they were on you for that,
Yeah,
huh?
well, because my mom was sort of paranoid about people like putting stuff in there. You know what I mean?
Totally on your mom's side with the loose
she had,
shit.
She had
but
to
come on.
inspect it. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
yeah, she would let me go out in the neighborhood and just do whatever I wanted to, and
That's cool.
but then she'd have to inspect the candy.
Man.
But yeah, that was
Your
probably
mom was
like
a shyster, man.
that was probably like the worst I can probably think of, just because the fact of, you know, when you're a kid, you know, you want to indulge in that,
Yeah.
you know, and then it's been taken away.
Nothing
from you.
in your adulthood ever went wrong? on
No,
Halloween?
everything was
No?
really good. So never had an issue with
That's
nothing
cool.
about it. I did jump one time at Halloween Horror Nights.
You
One-
jumped?
Yeah, one guy got me. He got me with a rattling can,
Wow.
and I seen him
That's
walk
a
by
big
me.
deal.
Yeah, got me.
Saw
So-
him coming and everything.
Yeah, so I'm coming.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a good
got
one.
me with a rattler. Yours?
Almost got arrested one night.
No, really.
Yeah.
Was this while your Kingpin days,
No.
your Godfather days?
Nope. In fact, I was in EMT school, as a matter of fact, and I was going to meet some buddies who had rented a RV,
Okay.
and we were all going to hang out at Guavaween.
I've been there one time.
Me too, and not this night. And just party it up, right?
Right.
So I was fortunate enough that my mom worked as a nurse, and she set me up with a nurse that she worked with. So I met this young lady. I picked her up, and we were screaming along the what's the one? I always get the two names. If it's not the Selman, what's the one that goes into Brandon? What's the expressway that goes into Brandon?
The same one.
That's the
Selman
Selman?
Expressway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the Selman then, but we were on.
Are you talking about the one that goes from 275 to Hillsborough?
No. The one that goes to Brandon.
I think that's the expressway.
Okay. Then
I think that's what it's called.
Then the Selman.
Well, which one, the Selman or?
So we're on the Selman. Okay, we're coming from Temple Terrace. I got on at 301, and coming up on the Tampa General exit. Okay. And I look in my rearview mirror. And
Leroy Selman.
Right, and there's a light flashing. So I go up to the toll. I throw the change in, and the gate goes up, and I pull off, to get out of his way.
All right, here we go. Hold on. James is calling in.
All right.
All right, my friend, you're back on.
All right, sorry, fellas.
That's all right.
Okay. Do your thing, my man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more games.
All right.
Okay.
Panthers at the 49ers.
Panthers at the 49ers. I'm
going to go 49ers.
I'm going to go Panthers.
All right. Christian?
49ers.
All right. Then we got the Raiders at the Texans. Oof. I'm going to go Raiders.
I'm going to go Raiders.
Texans.
Texans? All right. Browns at Patriots.
Oh, man.
Browns and Patriots.
Taking the Patriots.
Patriots.
I'm going to have to go Patriots, too.
Fuck.
Browns ain't got, nothing.
They don't.
All right. Sunday night game. Packers at the Chiefs.
Packers and Chiefs?
I am. I'm taking the Packers.
I'm going to go Chiefs.
Me too. Chiefs.
I'm sorry, Christian?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Okay. Monday night game. Dolphins at the Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers.
I'm going to go Steelers, too.
Steelers.
Christian says Steelers?
Yeah.
All right. Points.
Dolphins and Steelers?
Yeah, 21 last time the Dolphins played, 24 last time the Steelers played. I'm going to take 40.
I was going to say 42. I got the
40
number
as well?
Yeah, I was going to say 40 as well.
I'll go 41.
No, I'll make mine 42.
42. Okay.
Yeah.
Christian?
26.
26?
Correct.
All right. All right, fellas, enjoy your week off. Christian, happy birthday to you, my brother.
Thanks, man.
You didn't even say that.
And I'll talk to you guys in a week or two.
All right,
All right,
cool.
man. Take it easy, buddy.
All right, fellas. See you.
All right, peace.
All right, bye.
Well, he sounded like he was busy.
Running around, man. He's out of breath.
Like real busy. You didn't say that about your birthday.
It was Wednesday.
Why did you say something?
I don't know. Just a day ending in day.
Okay. I mean, it's, that's kind of a thing.
Sorry. It was my birthday Wednesday.
Well, I mean, we always sort of, have a little sort of celebration that happens, or a little song and dance or whatever, Usually I'll play, something like this.
Happy birthday to you.
Do you know who this is?
I do not.
Are you sure?
NSYNC?
No. This is way back when.
George Michael?
No, it's a group. It's a boy band group. New Kids on the Block.
Oh, okay. Wow. Way back.
That's usually what I play. Most people get upset with that one. I could play a Madonna song.
No, please.
But Madonna singing Happy Birthday?
No. No.
That'd be funny.
So to finish up that story real quick.
Okay, yes. Your worst Halloween.
So I get off at the Tampa General exit, pull over, see his light behind me. It's an unmarked. And it's me he wants to pull over. He pulls up behind me.
Well, that's why he would be behind you, right?
Yeah, but I thought he just had his lights on to get around me.
Oh, okay. All right.
So he gives me the get out of the
car
with the out from the outside, hands on your head, follow me back. I'm like, holy shit.
What do you think you had?
So I figured he might have caught me speeding.
Okay.
But I didn't know. Well, so I back up to him, and he says, you know how fast you were going? I said, roughly 91 miles per hour, because I had a computer dash on one of those Dodge Daytona lasers, and it said 90. So I said 91 miles an hour, and he goes, you passed me 5 miles ago like I was standing still. Did you not see me? I said, no, sir, I did not see you. If I'd seen you, I would have definitely slowed down, believe me. So he says, well, you're in big, and I'm saying, man, this is going to ruin me. I'm throwing names out, you know.
Right.
So he says, you got your license on you? And I said, yes, sir. And I did this. I held my hand up and pinched my 2 fingers like that, reached around real slow.
Yeah.
Pulled my wallet out. My license isn't in there because I'd gone to Mr. Dunderback's that day and left my license in my other pants.
Okay.
So I said, officer, I do not have my license with me right now.
What did he look at you with? Like, did he say, oh, here we go?
No, he was mad.
Oh, really?
He was mad because he'd been chasing me for 5 miles and I didn't know it.
How did you not know it?
I just didn't.
You didn't
I
hear
was
nothing?
talking to her. I was not paying attention and just did not see him.
You didn't see any lights.
All he had was a blue dash light when I did see him.
Was he an actual cop, right?
Yes. I made sure of that.
So you got pulled over. You don't have he's got you out of the car.
He's got me out of the car.
He's got you up against the car.
Yep.
He's got your legs spread, handcuffs. Almost. Okay.
So when I don't have my license, he says, Mark, you're in big trouble.
Right.
So I said, oh, man. He goes, turn around and put your hands on my car. And I turn around and I put my hands up on top of his car, and he puts one on. He puts one bracelet on, and from out of nowhere, a bum walks up. Okay? He says, you guys have any change to spare? I didn't have time to say anything.
Right.
And the cop said, hey, buddy, I need you to get out of here.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, he doesn't want to witness when he beats my ass. That's what he doesn't want. So the guy says, hey, man, I'm just, looking for a little change, a little something to help me through the night. And he pulls out that extension stick, and he clicks it. He pulls it, sticks
just for the guy walking by?
Yeah. And he says, I'm telling you, keep going.
He can't do that.
And, well, he did it. And the guy just walked away. And the cop turns around and he says, Mark, this is your lucky night. And I said, explain to me how this is my lucky night.
Right.
And he says, well, first of all, I'm going to let you go.
That's a relief.
Yeah, man, that was a huge relief. He said, I'm going to give you a ticket for 75 instead of 91.
Wow, that's,
I was like, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to run your license, and if I find even a glitch on it, I'm going to come get you. I'm going to throw you under the jail and the key in the cell.
That's sort of harsh.
I was like, man, nope. He was mad. He was mad that he had to chase me that far. If I had run that gate full force.
Really?
Oh, he was ready.
Wow.
He had his mic in his hand. I mean, he was telling me this. He's like, man, I was ready to call everybody out to get you.
Wow.
I'm like,
I bet you were crapping in your pants.
I was. I listen, man, I've been in some shit, but that
do you think,
one on.
Do you think the past of your Godfather history would ever come into play with that type of thing? No. Okay.
No. I'm an unknown. They don't know my name.
Right.
They don't know my name.
I mean, because I don't know if that was before or after this incident.
That was after.
That was after?
It was after, right? Because I quit that, went to EMT school.
Right, okay.
So it was like, about a year or so, something like
Was
that.
it hard to get into EMT school?
No.
No.
No, actually, it was, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do,
Okay.
really. And I was sitting at a Taco Bell
Uh-huh.
on Highway 60
Okay.
when it was still 2 lanes.
Yeah, yeah.
And right there by the Plit, as a matter of fact.
The Plit.
The Plit.
What's the Plit?
The old Kmart and the cinema that was out there.
Oh, where the
Larry's Ice Cream was. And
no, that's a Checkers.
now.
It wasn't Larry's Ice Cream back then, really?
Oh, my God. We're talking the 80s here, so. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's true, because, I mean, I didn't really.
I got a couple of years.
Yeah. That was the plaza to go to, man, on
That
a
was
Friday
the
or
cruising
Saturday
spot
night.
for us, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
really huge
Yep.
because car shows,
Yeah.
and well, there's a Checkers out there.
Yeah.
There used to be a Kmart.
So I was sitting there eating, and an ambulance went by,
Uh-huh.
and I said, hey, that's what I want to do. So I went down to there's a fire station
Right.
by what was then the Albertsons at
Okay.
Kingsway and 60.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So I went in there, and I didn't even have to ask them any questions. The garage door was open, so they
Uh-huh.
were in. I walked up. They had a big billboard right in the front by the truck, and it said, sign up now at HCC, and I pulled one of those pieces of paper off.
And you went up there and signed up.
Next day. Very next day.
I'm sure it's changed now how to get in.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You have
Crazy.
to jump
Crazy.
all kinds of loops to get
It's
inside
more
there.
expensive now. I mean, it was
Is it?
It was a check rate.
Did you have to ever put like an IV in a person while
hundreds.
the ambulance is driving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that hard?
No.
Because I've done it with a stable patient. You know what I mean? But I've never.
Really?
Yeah. Like when I went to college, I went for X-ray.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So and regular phlebotomy. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we were practicing on everybody in the class. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So
Oh my God.
yeah.
Poking everybody, weren't you?
Yeah. But then I had to, I administered some on myself, like a butterfly. I've done ETS on myself,
Nice.
a couple times in my foot. I, quote unquote, have the unofficial record of the most sticks of the class of like 35.
Wow. They tried to kill you, man.
No, that was me.
Oh, really?
That was me either putting them in, in somebody else, right, on their arm or their hand or whatever, right, or just doing it to myself.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
It's
so
good practice, man. That's
it
the
is.
way to do it.
It is. I mean, when the class started, the teacher was like, all right, so you're going to have to stick yourself. So you don't want to do that, please leave. A couple people got up and left.
Hey, the hardest part is, figuring out how to pull your skin back.
Yeah.
That's the
getting
trick. Is that
that tourniquet on there just right. And then finding that vein. A
But
lot of people that I did, they said they never knew that the needle went in.
the trick in the truck was, first of all, try to do it on a straightaway.
Okay.
Like in between lights,
Right.
Braking is the worst. And you think, well, you could straddle
Right.
and kind of come down,
Yeah.
But braking, again, and you're a missile towards the front.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But side to side, you got a little more balance, but it's the
Right.
the momentum, the inertia. You can't get it's
Did you ever have a problem
sucks.
getting in there?
no.
No?
No.
Okay. Came natural to you?
No. Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it, man.
Did you guys switch like operational jobs? Like
always?
so you would drive sometime and the other
Oh,
guys that
yeah.
work the back, like what would they call the back guys? Were they is there a name for that?
No. One guy's the caregiver, the other guy's the driver.
Oh,
It's
okay.
basically just
Like a
that.
3-man team or a 2-man? Two?
3 if you're training.
Okay.
Then that person.
Why is
goes
there
off.
only 2?
What do you mean?
Why wouldn't they have like 2 people in the back and 1 driver? You know what I mean? That
There's
way,
really no reason for it.
is there not enough room or?
No, no, that wouldn't be a problem. There's really not enough room
Okay.
to have. You really don't want a whole lot of action in the back because then you're bumping into each other.
Gotcha,
and that,
okay.
That doesn't get anybody anywhere.
Well, I don't know if like one person had to help the other to help another person.
Well, in a severe trauma situation, let's say
Uh-huh.
that it's a homeless guy, and you're not going to call the helicopter because
Right.
it's not financially, fiscally sound to
They
do that.
actually put that in the equation?
Yeah,
Really?
sure.
even if a life is on the line.
Just to fire that thing up costs $5,000. That's before it even takes off.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Just to fire it up. So if they call you and say, I'm sorry, excuse me, there's, what'd they call them?
Call it
Was it level?
Airmeds or
Well, Aeromed, that's where I flew.
Or
with them a
Life
couple-
Fleet?
Life Fleet is, well, that was an ambulance company.
Oh, okay.
But Aeromed had level 1, level 2, level 3. So level 1 was, go hang out by the ship. Level 2 was, we're going to fire it up. And then level 3 was, we're going to go.
Okay.
So.
Well, may I ask of what
Sure.
hospital you trained at?
I trained at Tampa General.
Okay, because that was going to be my next question. Was like, did you help them out with the helicopter deals too, or no?
No, this was later. This was later on. I was fortunate enough to fly with them a few times.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Like on calls or whatever.
Yeah.
They call them codes or calls.
Codes
Okay.
are when the patient flatlines.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was different for like the med flights or whatever.
Yeah, I've done both a scene calls and hospital transfers. Actually, I prefer hospital transfers because they're the funniest.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, how
you
was
get the
that
whole story there?
Right. How was that flight on the helicopter?
Honestly, the first time I did it, I got there. I was early. Was heading to McDonald's to get something to eat. They said, "Hey, Mark, we're getting ready to take off." I said, "All right, can I do? No, right now." And I was like, "Holy sh!" I mean, we'd all just got there. It was
Right. So were you ordering or?
No, I didn't even get a chance to leave the emergency room and head to McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
So I ran out there, and it was to Venice for
all the way to Venice.
Yeah, a hospital transfer.
Oh, okay.
So that's 180 miles. So you figure 90 nautical minutes.
Okay.
So we were in the air, and I'm sitting in the seat behind the pilot. With my 6-point on.
Okay.
And I'm doing my best to just look out the back.
Okay.
But there's a little bit of a tailwind.
Yeah.
And I haven't eaten, and
Are you feeling kind of queasy?
I was feeling kind of queasy.
Did you?
I did
go?
not. I did not. I didn't ralph or
Okay.
throw up or anything. But I was sitting there, I had a Velcro belt.
Okay.
So the whole band wrapped around.
Right, your waist and everything, right?
So I would pull that, loosen it a little
right,
bit.
Right.
Kind of pull the pants out a little bit. So 90 minutes there, 90 minutes back, and I didn't know this, but every time they were asking me, "Hey, Mark, are you okay?" I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
They were doing it over the radio, like everybody could hear it.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
So a little, little ribbing. So when I got back, they were all, super cool. They were like, "All right, go get something to eat," and little jokes here and there. And
Right. But they heard the whole entire conversation while you were. What were they calling you?
No names,
Okay.
no nicknames given. By then, by the time I started doing that, I'd kind of been in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
like
so the
you and the
guys.
other job, this was me there.
Oh, okay. I got you. So now, when you were taking those flights, did you ever have one that was actually like a patient?
Oh,
like on the helicopter, like actually you flew to a crash scene or something like that.
Yeah, a couple.
Did you? How was that? Like, what was?
It's different.
Now, were you helping or were you just sort of watching?
Well, if I go, I help.
Oh, okay.
If I'm needed. But a lot of these were ride-alongs. So the problem is that if it's real bad and they need extra help, somebody's got to get left behind.
Oh.
And that would have been me.
Okay.
But if I had been left behind, that means a paramedic or a firefighter
has to take you back.
Would have so they would have had to have taken me back to the hospital.
So did you ever get left behind?
No.
No.
No, thank God.
How bad was one of the worst ones you've seen?
Worst one I
From a
ever
helicopter.
From a helicopter?
Yeah.
Man, car wrecks are just so violent.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick your favorite.
I mean, it wouldn't be a favorite, but it'd be a memorable
There really
one.
is.
Is there really?
That's sickening, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have a favorite car wreck, but by helicopter it was
I know.
It was
it's-
that stupid story of that girl getting hit. That's what always comes to mind. But car wrecks are usually the worst. I did one
Okay.
of those. But the girl that got hit, that was probably the funniest story because she was 15 and her boyfriend was 18, and she'd snuck out.
Okay.
They'd gotten into an argument. She got out of the car, was sitting on a curb, and he says that he was going around to see if she was okay and hit her sitting on the curb. So about the only thing he hit was her leg, and he smashed her femur.
Oh.
So, you can bleed out from that. And back then, protocol was that if it was that traumatic and you can bleed out
Yeah.
from it, you call a helicopter. So, she's awake and everything's cool and all that. And we're getting the store and we're all looking at each other, kind of shaking our head like, you shouldn't have been sneaking out in the first place,
Right,
and blah,
right.
blah, blah, and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah.
That like blood all. Wait, what was she like? What was she doing?
She just snuck out
Screaming?
to be with,
No, I'm saying,
oh,
was she
her?
screaming? Yeah, I mean.
Oh, no, she had so much medication by the time.
Oh, they already
she,
stabilized her
oh,
by the time
yeah.
you got
oh,
there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See, I'm thinking like the ones are like, you're in the helicopter, you're about to lose them, stuff like that, and
I didn't really witness that.
No,
No.
like you're trying so hard, like they're bleeding and stuff like that. You're trying to stop it. So basically, when the helicopter lands, they've already got the patient.
Put one
like,
of those on the helicopter, but
I'm saying
they're in the helicopter.
But they're stable by the time the helicopter gets there.
Absolutely.
Right? So
as
they're
stable as they can be. Yeah.
So they're not coding by the time like the helicopters.
Sometimes they have coded.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pedestrian versus car. That's always a really bad one. And
gotcha.
You could be there just. Basically, what you do there is just throw them on the backboard. You're not really worried about protocol at that point because they're spitting up blood.
Yeah.
And, all kinds.
Is that one of those
broken off?
Right. Is that one of those things to where the helicopter lands, loads them up, and takes off within minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot longer than you think.
Really?
We have to the guy's got to get on scene. They got to stabilize the patient. In the meantime, while they're making this assessment, that's when you call the helicopter and you kind of say, well, for now, just be on standby.
Right.
And then you can increase the levels from there. Or you can just say, hey, this guy's really messed up. Go ahead and blast off. This is where we are. We'll set up an LZ for you.
Okay. All right. So they're coming in. They're coming in hot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Loading up the patient, while the patient's bleeding out or whatever. And
yeah. I was more surprised at how much room they needed.
Oh, yeah, for all the rotors and stuff.
Yeah, that's all they need is just the width of the rotors.
And they'll block off the entire road.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Them to land.
Now that's fun.
People get pissed.
It depends. I mean,
Yeah.
they're already backed up from,
the
from
traffic
the crowd.
section. Yeah.
So then whenever they... But, yeah, you can see looks on faces whenever you start setting up flares all the way across the highway.
And see, that sucks because now you're waiting all that traffic.
But it's not that long. It's not that... If you've waited there since accident inception and you could not get by, okay, and you're allowed to get by after the helicopter leaves, you've been sitting there maybe 30 minutes.
That's not including how long traffic was by the time you came up to the traffic.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it could be like...
Yeah, so if you're back there, you're hurting. But if you're up there, you'll probably be more mad than you should be.
I want to go back to when you said that they make the decision depending on how trauma is about...
This is in the mid to late 90s now. So if this protocol has changed, I don't know.
So you were saying that they made the choice on whether or not to go by vehicle or ambulance to flight.
Yes.
And who made that call? And why? Like what?
I think
what was the I guess evidence to say this person's about to code, right?
You're right.
Or something like that. And now we got to make a decision to go by air or go by vehicle. Because if they go by vehicle,
right,
they pretty much have killed them. If that makes sense.
So if you're 12.6 miles away from Tampa General, okay, and you're 3.5 miles from University Community Hospital, Fletcher.
Right.
Okay. You probably want to be taken to Fletcher first.
Okay.
Stabilized.
By ambulance?
by ambulance,
Okay.
and then you can be transferred from Fletcher
So the patients
to
don't
Tampa
choose.
General by helicopter.
Will choose what hospital they go to, right?
The who?
The patients.
The patient. If you need a
or
helicopter,
next of kin.
nobody can really make that decision
Okay,
for
so
you.
it's up
There's
to the-
protocols in place.
Okay.
Used to be just, and yes, I think you were leaning towards more why wouldn't the homeless guy be taken?
Well, anybody. I mean, because I understand if they're unconscious, they can't. They can't.
That is strictly up to.
Which I understand. If you've got like Memorial, that's less than a mile, right?
Right.
And then you've got Tampa General. You know what I mean? That's a little bit longer.
But when you're in between, like say Bush and Florida,
Uh-huh.
like where's the nearest hospital? And this is the 90s now.
I think there's a
There
very
was Tampa General,
Yeah.
St. Joe's,
Yeah.
Fletcher, and Carrollwood.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so the four main ones. So you're kind of in the middle of all of them at that intersection.
So how do you choose? The lesser of two evils. Flip a coin.
You evaluate the trauma.
Uh-huh.
If you can't stabilize it, you need to get them to the closest facility that can stabilize them so they can finish the job.
Right.
Or hopefully finish the job.
Right.
And then if they need a better, like community, and back then even St. Joe's did have an orthopedic
Facility.
kind of facility.
Like a wing.
But you always, if you needed it immediate,
But wouldn't you just go
Tampa
straight
Generals
to-
were on call.
Stay just to the ER, right? I mean, you wouldn't have to go to the orthopedic thing.
Well, but you need an ortho on call, and some
okay.
hospitals back in the day, that's where you get your trauma level 1, trauma level 2. That's how
What's
you
the
get.
highest trauma?
Well, your best is level 1
Okay.
because that handles everything.
Uh-huh.
St. Joe's used to be a 3,
Okay.
and then you would have places like Centro Asturiano. Remember that? That would be like a -6.
What would that mean?
That would basically be what a walk-in clinic is today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, walk-in clinics, emergency rooms, they're all for stabilization and statisticians and things like that. They're not.
They're to stabilize the
They're
patient.
not diagnostic. They're not used for diagnoses. That's
Like a
why
never-
you have
like a normal
follow-up
room.
and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Now I know they bring them all the mobile X-rays in and stuff like that and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that jazz. But I mean, if you're doing like an MRI, you have to stabilize the patient before you
You
even
have
get them in
to.
there.
Yeah.
You know.
You have to.
What was your worst trauma? No, I'm talking about like, I wouldn't go as far just because it's sort of like a Halloween type episode,
Sure.
right? But go as far as like a patient had coded while you were trying to work on them. We'll take it from that level and then go down to the one.
Okay,
to where,
I've never
like
I've never lost anybody on duty.
Okay, but I'm thinking like, like in the movies where they're in the ambulance and they're like coughing up blood and shaking and
Yeah.
going into shock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bleeding all over the place.
Worst trauma?
So you had nobody code on you, right?
Not on me.
Okay.
Like after I got them out, they coded, and like before I got there, they coded or died.
Right. Did that make you a little bit hesitant that the person has died after you worked on them?
No.
You were the last person to work on them. No.
I didn't do it.
Okay. I mean, even when you walked up to a DOA, right?
You.
the
People
right
have asked me.
terminology?
You lose a little empathy.
Okay. You kind of get sort of like
desensitized.
Yeah,
to it,
desensitized to it,
and it kind of sticks.
Okay.
So I never saw even with new people came on and they you get in that ambulance. What's the first thing you want to do, man? You want to fly in that thing.
Yeah.
And I would tell them, first of all, we're only allowed 10 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Okay.
So when they would get on the interstate and they'd want to fly, I'd be like, look,
You gotta
it's
slow
their
down.
emergency, not mine.
Right.
So, let's get everybody there.
I got it safely.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, what about stoplights?
Stoplights, you hesitate, you blow the horn and all that.
Because I've seen a couple of wrecks where the people have ran into ambulances.
Well,
and that's
then I'll answer your question. But the thing about the siren, physics dictates that the speed of your truck is going to outrun the sound of your siren if you're doing 60, 65 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay. So a lot of times when they're coming up behind someone, the sound really hasn't caught up to where they are if they're traveling at a good pace.
Well, I'm saying this is like at a cross to where the ambulance was going at a 4-way stop, right?
Yeah.
And then this other car just plowed right into him, you know?
Oh, that's happened a lot.
You know,
Oh,
tipped
a
over.
lot.
I couldn't imagine if there was like a patient inside there.
Trains have hit ambulances before.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Man, so you got screwed up from whatever accident you got from. Then you get hit by something.
Yeah, and there was a patient on board.
Really?
Wasn't here. Yeah, it was sad to read about. I was in Georgia or something like that, and it was one of those, paramedic journals that I got every month. And it was sad. I was like, God damn, what the hell was that guy thinking he could beat a train, in the middle of Georgia?
Especially with a patient behind there. So
yeah, he probably thought it was, he had an emergency, and he thought he could make it, and he did not.
Does it say what the status of the patient was?
Oh, they all died.
They all really?
Oh, it wiped out the entire crew and
No
everything.
kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Cut the whole thing right in half. And
yeah.
No survivors.
No survivors.
Man, so you go through a car wreck or whatever happened to the patient, right?
Yeah, it may have been a minor accident.
Yeah, stabilize the patient,
Yeah.
right? Oh, yeah, I'm going home to see my family or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be, and all of a sudden the train hits you and
Yeah.
kills everybody.
To answer your question, I think the worst trauma that I've ever seen, I think, was this guy. He got hit by a car, and we didn't even get called to it. We had just left eating, and we were heading up Florida Avenue, coming up to I think Linebaugh.
Okay.
And see this car. I could just one of the just an observer from the distance, day, night. I see from like flashing lights a mile away, and I'm waiting for more to join it. And partner and I are talking, getting closer. Get closer. It's about 1:30 in the morning.
Now are you guys on a radio system or?
Yeah.
I mean, no, like to each other.
Oh no, we're talking like you and I.
Oh, okay.
In the
So
truck.
you can hear inside the
Yeah.
ambulance. You know while it's going.
Yeah. So we left the restaurant. We're just blah blah blah. And getting closer, and I'm looking, and we got close enough to see that there was a big gaping hole in the windshield. And I'm thinking, this can't be good. So,
Like he
he's
flew
still
through the
talking,
windshield?
we're still,
Yeah.
blah, blah, and I'm, and I'm kind of looking, and I said, hang on a minute. And I said, look at that car, and notice the car. And he's like, holy shit, because he's driving, so I'm watching. So I said, slow down. I said, actually, stop. Got out. We went over to the car.
So the driver.
The driver's standing there next to the car. I
And
said,
so
are
the
you all right?
passenger.
There's
right.
no passenger.
So what was the big gaping hole?
So I said, what did you hit and where is it? And
what did you hit and where is it?
And he said, right there.
Uh-huh.
And I turned my head. I had to do a complete 180.
Yeah.
To look back across the intersection. I didn't even see him, and we drove right by him. And it was a guy, a gentleman had stepped out in the road, and I mean just took took this car full brunt, and his legs took the
initial hit,
the grill, and then the rest of him took the window. The guy locked his brakes, and the guy took off.
Wow.
And he took off for at least about 35 yards away from, I think is
No
what we
kidding.
measured it at. Yeah.
Wow.
He was alive.
Was this on an interstate or?
No, this was on Florida and
Oh, that's right.
Linebaugh.
Okay, yeah.
So
is that a 2-lane road, right?
Yeah.
Or is it a 4-lane road?
Well, yeah, two and
on
one,
each side.
yeah. And
so he went across the median.
Yeah, he went all the way across by that gold building hair salon.
And he was still alive?
And he was still alive.
Was he? I'm sure he's in a lot of pain.
Couldn't move. So we ran over there, and I said, "Sir, can you hear me?" And I hear him, try to moan something out, and he.
What was your initial thoughts medically while you were assessing him?
Well, I knew I couldn't move him yet. I needed help. I needed backup for this guy. His lower leg was just broken in half.
Oh wow!
Right through the skin and everything.
It's like a compound fracture.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, not just a bone sticking
But
out.
it
It was both bones were broken, and you could see all
really?
4 ends.
Oh, wow, sticking out of the both ends?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
so when we got him on the stretcher,
Was it still attached?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not by much.
Oh, really?
Not by much. Yeah. And
Like
poor
you stepped
guy.
on a landmine, huh?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, his arm was broken, but not shattered or anything
Uh-huh.
like that. I asked him to move his toes. He could move the leg that he could still move. So I said, okay. And so my partner, I said, all right, drive the truck in this direction. And, so he brings the truck around, and we just basically flop the guy on, pick his leg up. And
Was he screaming at this point, or?
As much as he could, it was like a,
Do you
the
think
guy
he was in a lot of pain?
He was in a lot of pain. And
Because you guys
he was near
administered,
death.
like, morphine or
Morphine.
something like that at that point? Or?
Yeah.
And you kept him
Demerol.
alive?
Tried to. As
Did
far
he-
as I know, when I got him to the hospital, he lived.
Okay.
So I've only checked on one person
Uh-huh.
that I've ever worked on, and that was because I wasn't even in uniform at the time,
Uh-huh.
and I was eating dinner with a bunch of friends. This guy collapsed and ended up being a
What?
call right there with me.
Did he have a heart attack or something? Or?
He had what's called alcohol cardiomyopathy, so he was a drinker.
Okay.
So it messed up his heart, and he had one drink that night, and it killed him.
Did it kill him, really?
Yeah.
So how do you?
Yeah, his
check up
friends
on
thought
him?
he was joking around, and they were kicking at him underneath the. He was
Really?
he was underneath a table. You ever hear of Jimmy? You know Jimmy Max?
No.
Used to be a cool restaurant over at like South Tampa. So his friends are like, "Come on, Hal, get up, bam, bam." They're kicking him under the table, and Hal wasn't joking around. So my paramedic friend reaches under the table and grabs his arm and pulls him out, and I'm looking at him, and he goes, "Yeah, I don't think this. We're looking at this guy's not fucking around, And so he pulls him out, flops him on the ground. I immediately go down and I reach looking for a pulse, and I said, Dave, this guy doesn't have a pulse. And he goes, yeah, I kind of figured that.
Right.
So Dave reaches into his pocket, pulls out his keys, throws them to our buddy. Our buddy runs out to Dave's car because Dave's got a full fucking bag in there.
Like a
I
kit,
mean,
the whole 9 yards.
oxygen tank,
You
ambu
can carry
bag.
that in
He
his
can.
personal?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't. I was always afraid that thing was going to blow up. In the
Yeah,
back of my
that's what I
car,
would
you
think.
know. But he did. So the buddy comes in, throws the bag on the ground, and we start,
Working on him?
working on the guy right there, and he says, chest or head? And I go, head. So, I bend the guy's head back,
Yeah.
spread my legs a little bit, and boom, you hear that thud
Uh-huh.
where it finishes hitting the floor. And we just start,
Right.
going to work on him. 2 minutes later,
Did you wear like a
fire rescue showed up.
Did you wear like a mouth protector or?
Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't do mouth to mouth.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, that's Dave had an ambu bag in there.
Oh, okay.
So I just covered his face and pushed that bag against his face because you
Well,
can't do it. You might be able to, but normally you can't squeeze that bag with one hand.
Why would you need to squeeze? What was the bag for?
It's got the oxygen hooked up to one end, and so when you squeeze it, oxygen is going into him.
Oh, okay.
helping him
Okay,
breathe,
through the
'cause
bag.
He wasn't breathing. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were doing like CPR.
Well, yeah, my paramedic friend. Dave,
Oh, I
he's
see what
doing
you're
CPR.
saying. Okay.
I'm doing mouth
So you
to
got
mouth.
the tool that's like pumping the
Yeah.
thing in there.
No mouth to mouth.
Gotcha.
Not even with a.
So then
claw.
why do they teach the mouth to mouth thing if they don't want people doing it?
Oddly enough,
Would it be awkward for you to do that?
it's
or
not
just sorta-
awkward. It's really
It's awkward for you.
it's
isn't
not
it?
awkward for me. It's just, God damn it. There was talk back then,
Uh-huh.
and I sat on this committee
Okay.
that talked about how unnecessary
It is. To do
mouth
to
breathing
mouth.
is into someone because
Okay.
a person does not exhale oxygen.
It's carbon dioxide.
Right, they exhale carbon dioxide. So you're basically blowing
Carbon
a heap
dioxide in the
of
body.
bad gas into a body.
Yeah.
So now and it kind of sucks because I'm mad my name's not on it. But they changed it.
Okay.
So now it's mostly compressions, and every now and then if you need to take a breath,
Yeah.
give them a breath.
Because see,
But-
when I went through college for the X-ray deal,
Yeah.
right? They taught you the mouth-to-mouth gimmick,
yeah,
And if
Nuts.
I would have known that, I'd have been like, so why are we doing this?
you shouldn't. And it was me and a bunch of doctors. It started out as just a BS session, really. And I was like, don't you guys think that,
Did that go
That's
like
unnecessary.
statewide?
well, it's now the American Red Cross CPR instruction is
okay.
that, it's mostly compressions now, because that's only the real thing that even keeps the body. Breathing in doesn't do it.
Right.
At all. It doesn't.
I wouldn't think
There's
so.
nothing significant. Even if the human body extract or exhaled, or you extracted pure oxygen from your lungs,
Right.
it wouldn't do any good, because you have circulation. The brain has to breathe, the blood has to flow, and you do need oxygen, but CPR or mouth to mouth is not the way to
not the way to
accomplish
do
that.
it?
No, never has been.
And again, why do they still teach it?
Well, yeah. Even,
Why do they still teach the mouth to
it-
mouth?
They don't. I think it's. I haven't trained in so many years, but I just watched a video on it. I think it's 2 at the beginning, and then you wait, instead of like a minute, you wait like 5 minutes if you're still doing compressions, and then if they need another hit, then they do it. And Chris, if you've done it because of your job, can you let me know if that's right or not? Please? He says nowadays, he's agreeing with me. He says nowadays it's more about chest compressions.
Okay.
So,
Well, I have a video right here where it shows it's a CPR video, right? How to do CPR on an adult ages 12 and older, right?
right.
And the channel is Cincinnati Children's, right? Like I'm assuming it's an instructional channel or whatever.
Okay.
The chin and pinching the nose. Place your mouth over theirs and give 2 slow, gentle breaths, just enough to make their chest rise. Continue with 30 compressions and 2 breaths.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Actually, there's a song you can sing.
Continue
I heard about
CPR
that, yeah.
until you see signs of life. Another rescuer takes
trying to get
over
it on
or
camera
help
here.
arrives.
If I can, which I can't.
That's all right.
So
it
yeah,
must be different.
this
yeah.
is showing chest or mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you learn. You know what I mean?
But it's not as often as you used to. It used to be like,
It used to be 2 and then hold your ear up to the mouth, isn't it? 2 breaths in.
yeah, 2 breaths in, and then while you were doing it, was 5. If it was 2 people, it was like 5 to 1. If it was 1 person, it was 15 to 1.
Okay.
So 15 compressions to 1 breath. Looks like in Ohio maybe they're doubling it. But
that doesn't say like.
last I heard, they were, it was mostly about compressions. But
most about compressions.
yeah,
Says check for breathing and signs of life. Watch the chest for normal movement. Look for signs of life and breathing for more than 10 seconds. No breathing or signs of life. Begin CPR. It says position of the heel. Blah blah blah. You've probably seen it, a bunch of times. So,
it's
all
an
right.
easy find.
So the trauma was by far the worst for you.
Yeah, that guy getting
The
hit,
trauma
yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
What did it look like with the bone separated?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know how to describe that. It
2
was
white little
just 2 white
toothpicks?
things kind of, sticking up. You could
Yeah.
see, the inside where the marrow is supposed to be.
Really?
And yeah, when you're
Was it all bloody
kind of
and
check
nasty?
that out when you're flopping his leg.
Now, where do you put your clothes, like your uniforms? Do you take them home and wash them, or do you put them
Oh,
back
yeah.
in your?
Oh yeah.
Even if they're covered in blood.
Well, if you're good, you don't get a lot of blood on you.
Right.
I was always a double glover.
Okay.
So when I get on scene, I make my assessment. I find the injuries.
But with that guy with the leg that got hit, right?
Yeah.
he's sort of hanging off by a string, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, that's going to be immobilized just by putting him on the
But
backboard.
wouldn't
and
he
tying
still
him
be
down.
bleeding out?
Well, fortunately, and it's said, you do bleed. There's
Right.
bleeding going on, but because of the trauma, your body has the ability to shut that part down.
Okay.
And
So all the veins and the blood cells
it,
and blood
it
vessels
bleeds,
and stuff like that?
and we did, stop it. We didn't, after we flopped his leg
Right.
on there, we got it. Then we stabilized all that. We didn't rush him to the hospital like
Right,
that.
right.
But certain things take precedence over others.
Okay.
The broken leg, that's a broken leg, basically. If it had been a femur,
Yeah.
and it was shot off and sticking out of the leg, we probably would have done a little bit more because you can bleed out from the femoral artery.
Okay.
So instead, we were more worried about, let's hope he doesn't have a broken neck. Let's hope his back's not broken.
Now, was that an ambulance to the hospital type of thing or a
Yeah.
helicopter?
Yeah. We just took him to University Community Fletcher.
Uh-huh.
That's what I meant, that in-between thing.
Yeah.
So they were able to stabilize him. Well, I assume they were able to stabilize him.
Uh-huh.
And then because I know they didn't have the facilities to take care of him,
Right.
he was probably flown to Tampa General.
Tampa General.
Or maybe, probably Tampa
Yeah.
General.
Is that flight in on Tampa General, the helicopters, are they like really smooth on that, or is that
That thing that's a BK-117 twin-engine helicopter, buddy.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, like coming in, like with all the updrafts and stuff like that, is that like a nice smooth landing?
The updraft is about the same. You tilt the
Okay.
rotor, it's going to blow.
Right.
But that one in that in that craft, yes.
Yeah.
One night, I actually got to go do touch and goes at Peter O'Knight with one of the pilots.
Okay.
And so he has to ask for permission to take off and ask for permission to land, obviously. So we take off, land. Every time he brought that thing around, man, he would set it down like a feather.
That's not Peter O'Knight on
Davis Island.
Because that's controlled by TIA.
That's where we fueled up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, TIA is what controls that airspace.
Yeah. So.
Because I got to call that because they don't really have a tower.
Well, maybe that's who he was talking to then.
Yeah,
because he had to call in and say, "Hey."
Yeah, because a friend of mine is really heavy into all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they was like, yeah.
See, I did not know
it's
that.
controlled. The radar is done by TIA.
Well, that makes more sense because, man, this was late and I could not see anybody at Peter O'Knight at.
Yeah, it's dark.
In the middle of the night, man.
It's dark. The only things that you usually see are those two bright X's that come on.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, and that's what he had his spotlight. Right
Nice.
there on that runway at the beginning of the runway where the planes come in.
Would you do it again? Like go back to being a paramedic?
I've thought about it. I think I would rather. I think I'd rather teach.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd want to be out there again. It's different. It's
different.
really. Yeah, I still talk to a lot of the guys, and it's not as fun as it used to be.
Is it more business-like?
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
way more business-like. Like speaking of Veramed, they used to have 2 parties a year.
Okay.
They had a China Beach Bash,
Uh-huh.
and then they had a Halloween party. And man, those were the bee's knees. But after things changed, basically HMOs back when this started, like late 90s, when it was a really big deal, and they were coming out. It really turned into a business then, and you really saw doctors, pucker up, and they had to be more careful and document better. And then, it does have a trickling effect. That whole thing affects everybody. Now everybody's got to get their paperwork right. And
Gotcha.
And so yeah.
Well, there's just so many screw-ups nowadays with medical things
almighty,
and stuff like that, and procedures. And like one time when I had like one of my shoulder surgeries, right? My doctor actually signed the shoulder that I was being operated on.
Smart.
That way, because he did the same thing with my knee too.
Smart.
It's like that way, he knows which one it is.
I would never let him cut on my knees.
Really?
Not even today.
Why?
The knees are a fickle thing, man.
I'm telling you, if you've got that much pain, man, the relief. You know what I mean?
You're a success story, but most of the people I've talked to have said,
I never had
sorry they cut on my knees.
I didn't have like reconstruction, surgery on it.
Okay.
I had basically I had like stagnites underneath the kneecap.
Spurs?
Like spurs,
Yeah.
right? And they were cutting a channel into my cartilage.
Yeah.
And every time I'd move, it would just like be a rush of pain. So
ouch.
I had to take 50% of my cartilage out and then remove all the little spikes on the underneath my kneecap.
Wow.
And then reshave a track and my cartilage for my knee.
Now, you heard that lady count. Let me just touch on this. Chris answered me. He said, when they provide instructions via the phone, I believe he's a 911
operator. Okay.
Supervisor. We tell callers to perform 600 compressions until the responders arrive. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of compressions. So, they're telling you, just keep doing it
just
until
keep
those guys
the
arrive.
chest.
And those guys are going to deliver straight ass through oxygen through that bag.
What's the arrival time? Like what is the between where the
what do they want it to be?
Yeah, okay, what do they want it to be?
Most, again, he could probably answer this better, but back then it was supposed to be 6 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
I think it's even less now. There you go. 5 to 8 minutes.
5 to 8 minutes.
5 to 8 minutes, and that is a lot because they've added stations.
Okay.
So they expect these guys to do this, to have 2 calls an hour.
Right.
And you can't do that. If you have station 4 out, for
there's
half
gonna be
an
a
hour.
delay.
And and then station 6 has to come from the next area over, maybe even 2 areas over.
Right.
Then that people bitch about it, but they don't understand the concept of it. So
it's right. It's the trying to get there.
it's I called. I want to be taken care of.
Right. Exactly.
And
that's what's on the line. Is,
sure,
and if people don't understand that, then they need to figure it out.
I
because
could shit another ambulance for you, honey, but it's
Yeah.
gonna take me like 20 minutes, and the other
I'm
one will
like,
be here
hey,
by
just
then.
give me to the closest hospital. You got to walk me there or walk me there. You got to, I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
want to get, especially after being in some trauma like that, you don't care where you go just as long as you don't die.
Yeah.
The
worst thing is, when they call for toothaches and shit.
Toothaches?
Toothaches.
Really?
And first of all,
They call for toothaches?
oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't they get charged for that?
If I did not want to cancel it so badly, they
Uh-huh.
would. But if I but I was more about, canceling that call than I was transporting. And the reason is because I don't have any, there's nothing that I can do except write a report, which I have to do anyway to cancel it.
Okay.
And the hospital is not a dentist's office.
Right.
They don't have an
So they're thinking about
orthodontist
something
on
else,
site
right?
or on call. They don't teach dentistry.
Okay.
Okay? So basically they're going to tell you if you've got a toothache or, clean your fucking teeth. Or
Right.
They're going to send them home.
So that what happens if they think it's something else though, and it comes out to be like toothaches or whatever?
First of all, don't question me. No, but look, if they
well, second of all, it could happen because trust me,
if they were insistent,
it
upon
could be
going,
like a migraine, and
if they were insistent on going, I would take them. But again, the stipulation is I'm not taking you by stretcher. And the reason I don't take you by stretcher is
because you're ambulatory.
Because you're ambulatory, and I can walk you right into the
Exactly.
waiting area, which you can go to by car. I'm trying to save you $1,500
just for an ambulance.
But they, no, I want you to take me. I'm like, all right, get in. But
Do your thing.
I walk them in. They aren't you going to take me by stretcher? No, I am not. We just had a PowerPoint class on this. You are ambulatory.
You can walk.
Right.
And sit
And
your
it's
ass
not.
down.
It's not It's not an emergency.
Did you ever get stern with any patients?
Once.
Did you bitch slap them?
No.
Did you give them the Godfather stare?
No, I actually got in this woman's face.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so what happened to her?
It wasn't her. It was her son.
Okay, what happened to the
He
son?
had suffered a terrible, vicious laceration to his lower leg. It
Okay.
required stitches.
Right.
And I didn't feel good about not transporting him because that could become infected and he could lose the lower half
leg,
of his
right.
leg.
How big was the gash?
The gash, I'm talking, well, we talk in centimeters, but it was about it was about 4 inches long,
Okay.
and it was gaping, and it was up by
Deep?
well, not really, because it was up by the front bone, the tibia,
Okay.
and the very tip of it, the top of it was up near the knee.
Okay.
So it was only gaping in that meaty part
Right,
next to your front leg. I'm feeling down there to make sure my anatomy right.
Your anatomy.
So yeah, so so you saw fat. You saw the adipose tissue underneath there, and
everything was sort of bulging out.
right. So you
So
kind
the
of
mom
want to
was
get this
freaking
taken.
out.
No,
No.
hold on. She wasn't there. So in that situation, I have to have he was 12 years old. I have to have parental consent or guardian consent to transport him. So his grandmother was there, but she didn't want to take him.
Okay.
All right? She didn't feel like it was her responsibility.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
That's sort of harsh.
Yeah. So I said, do you know where the mother is? And she said, yeah, she's probably down at, smoking crack at such and such house. And I was like, okay. I said, do we have a way to contact her or something like that? And so we ended up contacting her, and she's like, yes, please transport my child, and I'll meet you there. And I'm like, okay, great. So that we take the young man in, and I'm talking to him, and he's looking at my watch, and I had a Florida Gators watch.
Okay.
That I wore, and it had the gator hands and
I know what you're talking about.
gator mascot in the middle.
Yeah.
And it said Gators underneath it. So he's looking. I said, "Oh, you like that?" He says, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." I said, "Who is that?" And I'm showing it to him. And he says, "I don't know." And
okay.
I said, "Oh, that's the Gators." And he goes, "Oh, cool." He says, "I can't read." And I said, "That's okay, man." I said, "If you want to learn how to read, then you can learn how to read."
Now, a little backstory on this. Was this kid not schooled? Was he living on the street?
No, he lived in a house, he was with his grandmother in their house. Not the most greatest conditions you've ever seen in your life.
Like a little Section 8 type thing, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. And and the mom had a problem apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it's no big deal. Didn't tease him then. Didn't tease him to my partner after. We just told him, you want to learn, you learn.
Right. How did the gash take place?
He was riding his bicycle and hit something. I think a tree stump, sticking one of those real sharp things, and it just caught him glancing by. And whack, ripped him open. It's amazing. I remember that. Can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So anyway, we get to the hospital, and I'm walking out from the back, and talking to the nurse and saying, "This is this young man." I said, but and telling her, I said, "Listen, I can't read, so don't really throw a whole lot in front of him," and blah 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 blah. Walking out. And I'm saying goodbye to the triage nurse, and my partner's talking to the triage nurse, and they both get this big, wide-eyed, deer in the headlights look in their eyes. And I say, "Hey, what's going on?" And they go, "There's the mother right there."
Was she brought in too?
No, she came in. She got a ride.
Okay.
She did meet him. She got a ride up there. And I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll be right back." And I handed my clipboard to my partner, and I just began berating this woman.
Really?
Yeah, I said, I just walked up to her, and behind triage in the old ER, before the way it looks now, there was when you walk in the emergency door, there was pediatrics on the left. You walk down, and then there's another set of double doors on the left. That set of double doors is the back door out of pediatrics and the hallway down to another hallway.
Okay.
So I kind of backed her through that door.
And kind of backed her up to where she couldn't move.
Well, no. There was a lot less people in that.
Okay.
Always. There's never anybody in that hallway.
Yeah.
Walked in there, but my finger
was pointing. Yeah, I got you.
And I'm like, that kid is 12 years old. He can't read. You're off smoking crack like some dope-shifted whore. And I'm just went off. And, after about, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, my partner and the nurse came in and said, that's enough. And I turned around and I walked out.
See, that'd been funny if that lady was actually a very rich woman.
A lawyer.
And a lawyer.
Yeah.
And that was just because the grandmother didn't like the lady. And so she's like, oh, yeah, she's a crackhead or whatever. You know what I mean?
You could tell.
Yeah, you could tell.
You could tell, man.
You could tell with her.
Just disheveled and
old.
Just
and
no help.
Yeah.
Just no help at all.
Just sort of falling apart at the seams.
Yeah. I barely got any information out of the grandmother. Couldn't get any information
Why
out
do
of
they want to
him.
help the kid?
Just, I don't know, man. I guess she'll watch him, but that's the extent of it.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
So if something happens, the grandmother's not going to be like, it's all right. Don't worry about it. I don't care.
Yep.
I'm going to watch, my soap operas.
Right.
So don't kill yourself, kid.
Exactly.
That's insane. That's and
I
I'm
hope
sure
you
it
learn to
happens all the
read. I
time.
really do.
So did you check on them afterwards, or
Never did.
never did?
No, there's really no way to. And that guy that was the point of that guy who collapsed in Jimmy Max was, I checked on him. That happened. I could get on ICU even in street clothes and find out about him, and the only reason I did it was just because we were there. We joke about it now, but or I do, but we didn't even get our salads yet, and
right.
Now I'm clearing out this entire front room of a restaurant, and this takes about. They got there, like I said, fire got there 2 minutes after we started. So we all stayed there about 20 minutes,
just working on him.
Just working on him,
Yeah.
and it's exhausting.
Oh yeah. So what did you visit the family again, or?
I went up there. I ran into the family once. One of the friends was there, and they remembered me. One of the hey, weren't you? I was like, yeah. And the wife was there, and she was like, thank you for everything. I said, hey, I just hope he pulls out and he pulls through. And
did he pull through?
He did not.
He did not. Did he die in the hospital?
Yeah, he died. Yeah, there was really nothing that could be done.
Okay.
They had run by the. Let's see. I went up there for 6 days or called. I either went up there or I called, and they said no EEG response today, no brain activity.
So he's like a vegetable.
So he's still on a respiratory assistance, and then I was heading in. I was working like an office job, side job, because we didn't make a lot of money. So I was on my way to do that, and the hospital was on the way. Stopped in there on a Thursday, and I said, "Hey, where's Hal?" And one of the nurses I know. That's the only way I was getting in there is if I knew somebody. And she said, "Well, we took him. He'd taken him for a test, and he died in the elevator." Oh wow! So
All right. So one more question about
Shoot.
the helicopters, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
When you guys fly into Tampa General, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a long stretch from getting out of the helicopter and into the hospital? Because I see that road all the time between the helipad and the door.
No.
No. There's
it's
like an elevator in there.
No. You just walk them through off that helipad and into the hospital. You just use the same entrance as the.
Because there's like a little yellow painted walkway from the helipad to this like big door.
Yeah, they're hoping nobody slams into them when they're walking across there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how far the emergency room was there from there to.
It's right there. Again, this is not being there since they did that whole big remodel with the front and everything. But yeah, then it was just leave the helipad.
Yeah.
And
because you guys don't fly in the rain, do you?
They will.
They will fly in the rain?
Yeah, they will. Not a thunderstorm and not winds over, I want to say 40 miles an hour.
Okay. I mean, that's got to suck being rained on, being transported between one to another.
Yeah. I lost a good friend that I went to EMT school, and she became a flight nurse. And she lost it bad in the helicopter
What
crash.
oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
They were doing a transfer. I'm not sure if
Well,
they,
I was
if they had
talking
made
like for the patient being in the rain while you're going walking
Yeah,
across
they
the
will.
pathway.
Oh no, you don't want to do that either way.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what Tampa General is set up for.
Yeah. I mean, just if
It's
you
just
see
a-
the helicopter running, just
Uh-huh.
kind of hold up a minute and see what they're doing.
Well, no,
and-
I'm saying like once it lands at TGH,
Mhm.
right? There's the walkway from the helipad to the building.
right.
It's not covered.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so if it's raining,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, you'd get rained on.
you
you
get
know.
rained on.
Right, which
Yeah.
would suck. I would think they'd land on top of the hospital.
The Venice Hospital does that.
Plant City one does that.
Do they do that?
Yeah.
Now? Sun Cities is in
Memorial,
the
not Memorial,
Memorial's in the. I don't think Memorial has a
but
helipad.
no, the one on Del Avery. That
Oh,
has a
UCH,
helipad.
Yeah, that actually their helipad's in the back.
Yeah, it's right next to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right next to the ER. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
was
think Plant City is the only one that I know of.
Huh.
That,
I did not know that.
Yeah, that has a helipad on top of the hospital, which makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, because there's not much room in Plant City either.
No, there's not.
All right, let's. It was a great talk. I
Thanks,
mean,
man.
we were gonna have like a Halloween thing. I kind of got more of a survival, of emergency escapades. So
Love talking about that, man.
we're gonna, be off probably the entire week. Friday is gonna be no show, and then Thursday is no show as well. And then we'll see everybody back.
So the bartender show's still up in the air?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mark the bartender like on Sunday or something like that, and see what's up and see what he's gonna do.
Sounds good.
So he said, be ready for like maybe a possibly like rerun of a show like best of, or we may do one. So it's like 50-50.
Sounds good.
So I'll get a hold of him and see what's up, and then so no show on Thursday because of Halloween, right? Next Thursday, and then no show on Friday because I'll be out of town.
Okay.
So, and then we'll be back. If not, then we'll be back that following week. But you guys do something like set up a laptop and just record.
Try to get with him, see what
So,
we can do.
All right.
Thank you, Extreme Dance.
Yeah, thank you, Extreme Dance Company, for letting us use your studio for the 2 shows. Lyrical, hip hop, jazz, ballet, tap, whatever you want to do. Just go to extremedancetampa.com. And then you guys have a safe Halloween. Get some nice candies. Enjoy yourselves. Watch out for the crazy people.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Dress up. Dress up in your ghouls and goblins. We'll see you in about a week. This is the Bullshitter Show, only on Bulls Radio Lounge.